A small child huddled in a dark corner of a cave, trying to shield themselves from the frantic screams and shouts of villagers hunting for them. "I saw the demon sprint into the forest," a man shouted, and soon the voices of the others faded as their footsteps retreated. Tears streaked the child's bruised, swollen cheeks as they squeezed their eyes shut. Why are they doing this to me?" the child whispered, voice trembling. Deep within the child, crimson eyes flickered open, a single red tear rolling down. "The child suffers so I can survive another day. Is it even worth it?" The crimson gaze closed again, surrendering to slumber. Outside, the storm raged, rain hammering the cave. Shadows of nocturnal creatures lingered at the entrance, sensing both the child's pain and the alpha presence emanating from within. A flash of lightning illuminated a figure at the cave's mouth. Amber eyes watched the scene carefully, a massive sword resting in hand. Slowly, the figure tilted his head toward the storm-laden sky, as if the heavens themselves wept for the child, abandoned at only 8 years old. "My lord, the time has come to awaken and claim the heir of Asgard," the amber-eyed man said. A figure with long golden hair and a single sky-blue eye materialized beside him. "Have you located the child?" the golden-haired man asked. "Yes, my lord," the amber-eyed man replied, moving his sword toward the cave's entrance. "The child hides inside, fleeing for their life from villagers demanding blood." The blue-eyed man's gaze hardened. "Why would anyone wish harm on an innocent child?" he asked, his eyes darting back to the cave. A black fox kit timidly approached, seeking shelter from the rain and from the villagers who had slain its mother. The kit sniffed the child's scent, blending human warmth with fox, before curling beneath the child's arms. In their sleep, the child unconsciously held the creature closer, comforted by the softness beside them. The amber-eyed man turned to the emerald green-eyed figure beside him, voice edged with surprise. "I didn't expect your awakening, my lord." The green-eyed man grinned. "It would be rude to summon a lord without calling for us all." The sky-blue-eyed man shot him a glare. "Enough, we are here to confirm if this child is indeed our missing heir." The other merely nodded, noticing another fox kit, pure white this time, scampering toward the cave to join its sibling. As night deepened, lightning split the sky and thunder rolled through the distance. Inside the cave, a golden glow began emanating from the child, who had grasped the fragments of an old hammer in their slumber, the leather-wrapped handle snug in their tiny hands. Inside the child's mindscape, crimson eyes opened within the child's inner world, staring at a silver light at its center. A man with shaggy blonde hair and crystal blue eyes appeared before the cage of shadows. "I am sorry for sealing you away. Hurting you was never my intention," he said softly. "Understandable. You had to, given my rampage," the crimson eyes replied, staring at the shadows of the cage as saplings sprouted from tears pooling around them. "This is your second chance. Protect this child well. It may be the last time you see me until truly necessary," the man said, unlocking the cage and affixing a collar around the crimson eyes. "I have always been a guardian of your line," the crimson figure replied. Weapons, swords, a hammer, and more appeared before their gaze, while grass and water formed a tranquil lake, moonlight shimmering above. At the cave entrance, the blond man appeared, ghostly, ice chains hanging around him. "Father, uncles, good to see you," he intoned, voice echoing. "Why appear as a spirit? And who is this child inside?" the man with the sky-blue eye demanded. The spirit smiled faintly. "This child is my heir, the hope for the future." He glimpsed the spectral figure of his late wife standing beside the sleeping child. "The child is my grandchild," the sky-blue-eyed man whispered. "Yes, father. I awakened my power too late and sacrificed myself to the Shinigami to seal the Kyuubi within my child, saving them and the village," the ghostly man explained. "A guardian sealed inside the child?" asked the amber-eyed man. "Yes, and Uchiha controlled the Kyuubi with his cursed eyes. By the time the genjutsu broke, it was too late. My wife's life was taken in the process, and the Shinigami claimed my soul as payment," he said with a sad chuckle. The three men nodded, seasoned by the ages and familiar with the arrogance of bloodlines claiming divinity. The child's hammer began to reform, a silver glow filling the cave. Lightning danced, yet neither child nor fox kit stirred. The kits snuggled close, while the child's hair shimmered with silver highlights. "It seems Mjolnir has awakened the dormant bloodline," This child is truly both Asgardian and Yuzashino, the blond man said with pride. Then return them to Asgard, the emerald green-eyed man suggested. No, this child has people who care, the spirit replied, hearing distant shouts. Naruto, Naruto, cried an elderly voice, others joining as they found a scrap of orange fabric hanging from a branch. The spirit smiled. They will reach Naruto soon. Let them speak to him and offer the choice, stay or go. Slowly, the spirit faded back into the Shinigami's realm, chains rattling. The Hawkeye, sensing the glowing cave, whispered a prayer. Please protect Naruto. Inside, the child stirred, fox kits shifting close. The Hawkeye climbed the hill toward the light, eyes widening at the sight. Naruto, now taller, golden blonde hair streaked with silver, slept surrounded by two unusually large fox kits. Hawkeye-sama, what should we do? The wild-haired woman asked. I don't know, he admitted, eyes fixed on the stormlit child. From the shadows, 3 men stepped forward. Let Mjolnir complete its work, a deep, commanding voice demanded. The Hawkeye drew himself up. Who are you and what is your business with Naruto? I was summoned. That child is my sole heir, the offspring of my only son, the blond man growled. The Hawkeye paled. Your only son? He narrowed his eyes. Naruto is missing, an orphan reported lost during bed checks. The green-eyed man's gaze hardened. Do not lie. This child's father is Minato Namikaze Odinson, and the mother is Kushina Uzumaki. The Hawkeye and a few trusted villagers exchanged stunned glances. The wild-haired woman looked to her leader, speechless. Why didn't you let me take Naruto? I am his godmother for Kami's sake, she snapped, her voice sharp as her companion bristled, ready to obey her command. The elderly Hawkeye's gaze drifted toward her. I couldn't. It would have raised too many questions. Having a second child under your care, especially one with blonde hair, he explained, averting his eyes. Anger flashed in her emerald green eyes as she clenched her fist and struck him across the face. After that night, there were more orphans than anyone could count. No one would have questioned it, she growled. Those nearby watched in stunned silence, knowing she was entirely in the right. She had been entrusted to protect the child if anything happened to his parents. Amusement flickered across the eyes of 2 onlookers, one emerald, one sky blue, as they watched her tear into the elderly leader. You wouldn't let a clan hold the village weapon. You listened too much to that old war hawk, who has made the child's life miserable ever since he was placed in the orphanage, she hissed. Tsume, I had to consider the welfare of the many. The needs of one were outweighed by the needs of all, the Hawkeye replied, his head bowed. Tsume's eyes glinted with feral intensity. But eventually, the needs of the many would have diminished. You could have focused on the one. By then, it was too late. The civilian council and those so-called honored elders poisoned the villagers against the child, claiming he was the Kyuubi reborn, that he had died that night, and the beast had taken over his body. When he was 2, my own clansmen heard an elder spreading lies. I told my clan the elder was lying. The child is a hero and the jailer of the beast. If anything were to happen to him, the Kyuubi would be unleashed again. I instructed them to protect him. He safeguards us every day, she said, her voice steady as the others silently nodded. They had heard the same warnings. Why did our ANBU reports about this go unanswered? Asked a woman with purple hair wearing a Nico mask. The Hawkeye blinked, confused. I never received reports claiming the elders and council were spreading rumors about Naruto and the Kyuubi. It seems someone intercepted your reports and replaced them, an amber-eyed man observed, studying everyone carefully. The Hawkeye bowed his head. It appears that's the case, he admitted. I'm taking Naruto home with me. The council and elders can be damned, Tsume growled, her glare unwavering. He sighed, knowing he would lose this argument. Once Tsume set her mind on something, she pursued it relentlessly. Very well, I'll handle the paperwork, he said quietly. The 3 men exchanged raised brows. Naruto will come home with me, said the lone blonde-eyed man, meeting their stares. Tsume stormed forward, wet hair plastered to her face, glaring up at him. No, he's coming with me, where he belongs, she spat. The man chuckled softly. I'm afraid not. None of you can handle the power the child awakened tonight. He needs proper training. He pushed past Tsume and entered the cave, gently lifting the child cradling 2 fox kits. Lightning danced across the cave, meeting the glow from the man's single eye. He stood surrounded by electricity, unyielding. Where are you taking Naruto? Tsume's voice trembled, a mother's fear shining through as she reached for the child, only to be blocked by the man with green eyes. Touch them now and you will die, he warned, leaving her frozen with unease. We will return home. If and only if Naruto is ready, we will come back, the blond man said, turning his back. Who are you, stranger? Asked a man with a black ponytail and a claw scar across his face. The man turned, voice calm but commanding. I am Thor Odinson, son of Odin, king of Asgard, god of thunder and father of Minato Namikaze. The scarred man's eyes flicked to the emerald-eyed figure. I am Loki Odinson, son of Odin, brother of Thor, prince of Asgard, god of mischief and chaos, and uncle of Minato Namikaze, Loki said, smirking. Finally, the man with amber eyes spoke. I am Heimdall, gatekeeper of Asgard and uncle to Minato Namikaze, he said, bowing slightly. Please allow Naruto to choose for himself. I have scrolls from his parents for him, the elderly Hokage pleaded. Loki's gaze softened. Then I will take them. We will train him, and if he chooses to return, then you will ask for his forgiveness. The Hokage nodded reluctantly. Very well. Come with me to collect the scrolls. The storm outside slowed to a drizzle, and the streets were empty. Thor and Loki scowled at the rope around the Kyuubi, while Heimdall kept a vigilant watch. As they approached the Hokage Tower, lightning illuminated the mountain. Thor's eyes softened at the sight of the child. I wish I could have been awake for you, my son, he thought, holding him gently. Inside the tower, low-ranking shinobi watched, some smirking, assuming the child was in danger. But the amber-eyed man's gaze froze them in place, their very souls quivering at his presence. He turned away, a quiet god watching over his young lord. In the office, the Hokage gathered all the scrolls, combining them and adding new jutsu notes for the child's future training. Here, tell Naruto there are more scrolls at his parents' compound. If he chooses, he may return there. This old fool is sorry, the Hokage said. Loki collected the scrolls and with Thor and Heimdall, vanished in a shimmering rainbow light, leaving a Celtic pattern on the floor. Tsume stared at the mark, heartbroken. She walked out silently, heading home to her children, recounting tales of a hero child spirited away to an unknown fate. Asgard weeks passed. Naruto slept as lightning flickered across his form. The Kyuubi remained awake, guarding the kits who had inherited some of his power, a gift for surviving the night's hatred. Morning arrived. Naruto stirred, opening his eyes in an unfamiliar room. It wasn't a hospital or his small apartment. Confused, he looked down at the fox kits waking beside him. Hey guys, he whispered. But his eyes widened in horror, his seal was broken. No, a soft voice cried. Why did it break? The kits looked at her quizzically. Don't cry, we'll protect you just as you protected us from the storm, said the black kit. The white kit nodded in agreement. Naruto slowly relaxed as she looked down at the two little kits. Thank you, do you two have names? She asked gently. The black-furred kit smirked and nodded. I'm Scatty. This is my sister, Sneo, she said, pointing to her snow-white sibling with the tiny pink nose that contrasted Scatty's own dark one. Nice to meet you both. I'm Naruto, she replied, not particularly surprised. After all, she'd seen talking creatures before, like the monkeys her grandfather occasionally summoned. She glanced around again. Do you know where we are? The kits exchanged a look, then back at her. No, Sneo admitted softly, curiosity flickering in her eyes. Just then, the door creaked open, and a man with long golden hair and a single eye stepped in, candle in hand. He had been wandering the halls, restless and unable to sleep, and the faint noises drew him toward the room. Naruto's eyes widened in fear. The kit stiffened, growling lowly. Her hand instinctively went to the handle of the hammer that had been with her even in her sleep. Calm yourself, grandson. Calm down, little ones. I am not here to hurt you. I am your grandfather. I'm here to protect you, came Thor's calm, yet slightly worried voice, seeing the tension in the room. But something made him pause. The candlelight reflected off metal hitting the stone floor, a sound that drew Loki to the room. Alarmed, he rushed in, spotting Thor and a young girl sitting where his nephew should have been just hours ago. What is happening here? Where is Naruto? Loki demanded, his eyes sharp. A voice whispered inside her mind, dark yet soothing. Relax, you can trust them. Well, Loki can be a pain, but Thor, he's trustworthy. Slowly, Naruto nodded. I'm Naruto, but who are you? Where am I? And where's the old man? she asked, panic still evident in her voice. Thor knelt beside her, eyes wide. Naruto? But Naruto is a boy. Tears welled up as she whispered. It was a seal the old man put on me to protect me. It isn't safe for a little girl in a village that blames you for things you didn't do. Lightning flickered in Thor's eye as Loki's dark gaze narrowed at her words. You're in Asgard now, Thor said, regaining his composure. Your old man allowed you to come with us. I am your grandfather, the father of your father. My dad, I don't have parents. I'm an orphan, she said softly. Thor's hand rested on her head. Skadi growled once, then curled around her protectively. I wouldn't harm my granddaughter, Thor said firmly. Your parents died the night you were born. Had I known, I would have come sooner. But I was slumbering, only awakening when Heimdall called me on your 8th birthday. You've been sleeping for 8 years? Naruto asked in disbelief. Thor chuckled lightly. No, my dear, 18 years. I just woke up a little early. Naruto giggled, thinking of classmates who napped endlessly and imagining a classmate buried in cobwebs while his mom chased him with a frying pan. Then she shook her head, looking back at Thor, the man claiming to be her grandfather. Can I go back home? She asked suddenly. Both brothers froze. Why would you want to go back to that village of ungrateful fools? Loki asked. Naruto smiled. Because I have friends, people who care for me. Like Kiba's mom who always looks after me, feeds me. And Gigi, and the old man with his daughter who runs the ramen stand, a few classmates, my teacher Uruka, and all the dogs in Kiba's clan, teaching me to hunt and play in the woods. Loki exchanged a look with Thor. Before you go back, we need to teach you about your new powers, Thor said gently, a soft smile on his face. The Hawkeye sent a scroll for you to learn from, and he wanted me to tell you he's sorry. Naruto smiled. I know Gigi is sorry, he's doing his best. But powers, what do you mean? Loki smirked. No, little one, your grandfather and I are gods. Your father was too, but he didn't awaken his powers in time to stop the Kyuubi. Do I have a grandmother? She asked. Thor looked away, remembering his late wife. Yes, but like your mother, she passed giving birth to your father. Naruto hugged him tightly. It's okay, we can talk about them when I'm older. Loki observed silently, thinking. She's the light we've needed. When will I return home? She asked. When do children become shinobi? Loki countered. At 13, when we take the final exam, she replied with a hopeful smile. Then on the eve of your 13th birthday, we will return you to the village, Thor said. Naruto nodded. But I want to keep being a girl a secret, at least until I can trust my teammates. As you wish, princess, and don't worry, long hair is normal here, Thor teased. Her stomach growled. She blushed softly. Thor laughed. Let's get you something to eat. Scooping her up, he led her toward the kitchen, toward the future waiting for them. Loki crouched beside her. We need to deal with those seals. What seals? I only had the one on my stomach, and the one on my hand to hide my gender, Naruto said, confused. Loki raised an eyebrow. Someone placed 2 more seals on you. He placed his hand on her right shoulder. It glowed and heated, breaking the seal with a cry of pain from Naruto. He did the same at her neck. She collapsed, a silent scream escaping her as her body and mind expanded, absorbing knowledge and growing in ways she never imagined before fainting. Thor rushed to her side. What the hell, Loki? It seems someone tried to restrict her growth and learning, to slow her down, Loki explained grimly. These weren't placed by the old man she trusts. Thor lifted Naruto carefully and called for a doctor to check her. Inside her mind, Kurama observed as the seals shattered. Freedom, long denied, flowed through her. Finally, she could grow into her true potential. Hidden Leaf Village in a dark office, a man stared at a scroll labeled Naruto. Where is that Kyuubi brat? He growled. The tracking seal showed she wasn't in Konoha. As he set the scroll down, it glowed a bright green before bursting into flames, laughter echoing in his office. He yanked the bandages from his left eye to use the stolen Sharingan, but saw nothing. No one, no illusion. Asgard, a sly smile tugged at Loki's lips as he trailed behind Thor. He wanted to see firsthand what effect those seals had on his niece. Naruto slept for several more days, her body adjusting once again to the changes coursing within her. The fox kits never left her side, keeping anyone else away. It seems we'll need to train her alongside those two, Thor remarked, glancing at his brother. Loki nodded slowly. Indeed, this won't be easy. From what I saw in that village, there's only one clan capable of working with animals, aside from the clan that handles insects. he added, shivering at the thought of bugs crawling under their skin. That woman, she had a fire inside her. Naruto could learn a lot from her, Thor mused, recalling Sume. Loki followed his gaze and nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps we should speak with that feral woman, see if she might train the girl or offer guidance. He turned toward the window of Naruto's room, lost in thought. Then we'll meet her once Naruto has grown into her powers and can control them, Thor decided, leaving the room. Loki's lips curved into a knowing smirk as he followed, the memory of the feral woman's defiance lingering in his mind. 3 years later, 11-year-old Naruto strolled through the palace halls, heading to the dining room to meet her grandfather and uncle. You've been progressing well with Mjolnir and your Kenjutsu training, Kurama noted. Flashback 3 days had passed, and Naruto still slept. In her dreams, she found herself in a cave-like chamber, a colossal fox staring down at her. Finally, you've arrived, the fox said, smirking. Naruto tumbled backward in surprise. Who are you? She stammered, eyes wide. The fox's 9 tails swayed behind him. I am one of Asgard's 9 guardians. Once I was part of the 10 tails, until that cursed rabbit goddess stole the fruit of the sacred tree. When she ate it, the 10 tails awakened within her, along with a long-forgotten power, chakra. But in those days, humans couldn't wield it like they can now. Oh, wow, Naruto whispered. So you're my protector? He inclined his massive head. Yes, but I haven't always been able to fulfill that role. Naruto smiled softly. Don't be sad. I know if you could have broken free of the seal on my belly, you would have saved me from the villagers, and that old man wrapped in bandages. Kurama blinked in surprise, struck by the wisdom in her words. Only 8 years old, yet she seemed older than her years, perhaps a result of her goddess lineage awakening, or maybe the broken seal clearing the haze clouding her mind. One thing was certain. She still loved her Jiji and longed to return to Tsume to play with her Ninken. Whatever my uncle Loki did, it cleared my mind. I feel stronger than ever, Naruto said, glancing at the weapons scattered around the cave. What are those? Kurama's gaze followed hers to the twin black and white chakra swords. Those belonged to your mother, Kushina Uzumaki. She was a master of Kenjutsu and seals during the Third Shinobi World War, surpassing even your father in skill. Naruto's eyes widened. My mother held you? Yes. She, along with your great aunt, Mito Uzumaki Senju, were my first jailers. They saved me from the Uchiha, who cast a genjutsu on me while I slept in the mountains. Later, I was sealed within your mother because her children and grandchildren weren't strong enough to contain me without losing their minds. Kurama's tails shifted as he chuckled. Naruto's jaw dropped. Wait, I'm related to the first Hokage? Kurama's tails coiled around her as she nearly fell from shock. Yes, child, you are the daughter of the 4th Hokage, as the king said. She pouted, still overwhelmed. I had forgotten my father's name, it was Minato. Now you know, Kurama said. Your parents were powerful. Your father, a Kage and son of a god. Your mother, a princess of Uzu and grandniece of the first Hokage's wife. Her mother was the queen, her father the Uzukage. Naruto's curiosity burned. How do you know all this? Being sealed within someone teaches you many things, he replied. Naruto's brow furrowed. Why did my grandmother rule instead of my grandfather? The women of the royal family rule with love, gentle but fierce. Men rule with their minds, focusing on war and protection. The Uzumaki women lead the island with justice, but they become ferocious when their children are threatened. The men, meanwhile, protect the village and their queen, like a chess game. Naruto's resolve hardened. This makes me want to become Hokage even more. My father was the greatest of them all. Kurama smirked. I'll hold you to that, Kit, she smiled. Thank you, but what's your name? I am Kurama, named by my father the Sage of 6 Paths, Naruto gasped. I thought he was just a myth. No, Kurama chuckled. His daughter founded the mighty Uzumaki clan, and his sons founded the Uchiha and Senju clans. Naruto's eyes nearly popped out of her head. That's wild, Kurama's expression darkened. The Uchiha crave power, they'll kill anyone to get it, Naruto shivered. Yeah, Fugaku always creeps me out. Stay cautious, Kurama advised. Trust is earned. Your mother and father's deaths, and Uchiha played a part, and I was sealed within you. Naruto looked up, puzzled. Kit, Kurama said softly, gazing into the shadows where her parents' ghosts slept. I'll tell you more when you're older. Too much now could hurt you. Naruto nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. She was still young, and pushing her too far now could send her down a dangerous path, one that might lead to self-destruction. That was something Kurama would never allow. I understand, but I want to know someday, Naruto said softly, sinking back against his tails. A yawn escaped her lips as exhaustion from the day's events settled over her. I know, kid, but for now, rest. You've gone through another transformation, and you need your strength back. I'll handle the pain so you can sleep peacefully, Kurama said gently. Naruto simply nodded, closing her eyes and drifting into a deep, restful sleep. End of flashback. Loki observed Naruto as she walked alongside the two young foxes, Skita and Sneo, toward the breakfast table. She seemed lost in thought, her mind elsewhere. Good morning, granddaughter, Thor greeted warmly, a smile touching his face as he looked at the blonde-haired girl with streaks of silver lightning running through her hair. She now stood at a confident 55. Naruto blinked and returned the smile. Good morning, old man. Morning, uncle, she said playfully, knowing how much Thor disliked the nickname. Naruto, please don't call me that, Thor whined. Sorry, grandpa. I just like teasing you sometimes, Naruto said with a grin, settling down to eat. My morning training with Mjolnir is going well, she added casually. That's good to hear. And what about the programs from my late friend Tony? Thor asked, curious. Naruto looked up thoughtful. They're going well. I've been working on a special mesh armor for when I return home. I got the idea from his Iron Man suit, she explained, her mind running through the alloys and chakra-infused seals she had used to make it nearly indestructible. How's your magic progressing? Loki asked, studying her carefully. Naruto winked, transforming into him for a brief moment. It's going great. I don't need to say the spells aloud anymore. I can do them whenever I want, she replied confidently. Loki smirked. Looks like the cunning of the fox within you is coming through. Yeah, and Kurama still thinks you're a pain in the ass, Naruto teased, laughter echoing from the fox sealed inside her. Also, I've been sharing Kurama's chakra with Skita and Sneo to make them stronger. We're only as strong as a genin for now, but when we return, we'll be stronger, Skita said proudly. Quiet, sister. We're not there yet, Sneo scolded, giving her older sister a nip. But Sneo, we are, you just don't want them to know, Skita whined, pouting. Your little sister is right. It's smart to let people underestimate you, Thor said thoughtfully. Always use your mind. The gift Kurama gave you is meant to protect these kits as you navigate the world while he's sealed inside, Loki added, glancing at the two young foxes, who nodded in understanding. After breakfast, back to your studies. You only have 3 more years before your return, he reminded her. Naruto nodded and resumed her meal while the foxes ate alongside her. October 10th morning arrived on Naruto's 13th birthday. Sarutobi and Tsume were in his office, discussing recent developments. Naruto is returning today. I intend for him to live with me, Tsume said, narrowing her eyes at the old man. But Tsume, Sarutobi began. Listen to me. I have copies of Kushina and Minato's wills. I'm his legal guardian. You have no say in this. If you challenge me, I'll take my clan and leave the village, Tsume warned. Sarutobi exhaled, defeated. We can't lose your clan, too fine. Naruto can live with you, and when you think he's ready, he can move into his parents' home, he said. Tsume smirked. Good, I'm glad we understand each other, she said confidently. Suddenly, the sky darkened outside. A storm rolled in without warning. Thunder rumbled as villagers scrambled for shelter. Lightning danced across the clouds, striking just outside the Hawkage Tower. Sarutobi leapt from his chair, rushing to the window as screams echoed from outside. Anbu went out to investigate, and Sarutobi followed closely. What's happening? He shouted. A voice, calm and teasing, emerged from the dissipating lightning. Really, Gigi, you think I'd let my lightning strike someone? Standing there, illuminated by the fading storm, was Naruto, alongside the 3 men who had spirited him away 5 years prior. Naruto, Tsume's voice trembled as she appeared behind the old man, tears brimming in her eyes. Naruto smiled softly. Hey, Tsume-ni-chan, he greeted, seeing the woman who had cared for him as best she could all these years. Tsume dashed past Sarutobi and embraced him tightly, but her gaze shifted when she noticed the 2 foxes behind him. They were about the size of miniature ponies, larger than her own partner. Naruto, are these the kits you had that night you left? Naruto chuckled. Yeah, Skita and Sneo, I was wondering if you'd help me train them. Tsume hugged him tighter. Of course. Training you will probably get Kiba off his ass to work harder with Akamaru, she said, grinning. Her eyes flicked over Thor, Heimdall, and lingered on Loki for a moment before settling back on Naruto. We hoped you'd agree to help train him and the kits, Thor said with a grin. Loki cleared his throat. We've done all we could with the scrolls I found and purchased, he added, meeting Tsume's amber eyes. A slight blush appeared on her cheeks. I know those scrolls, but nothing compares to my clan's training. And Naruto, you're living with me from now on, Tsume said firmly. Naruto's eyes widened. Why? She smiled gently. When you were born, they told me you died with your mother, and that Minato used an orphan to seal the Kyuubi. But every time I saw you, I knew the truth. I instructed my clan to protect you, to nurture you, because you're a hero for surviving and keeping the beast at bay, she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. Naruto hugged her, tears falling as he pressed his tall frame, almost 511 against her. I'm your godmother, and when your godfather arrives, he's meeting you after I give him a piece of my mind, she whispered. Naruto nodded through his tears. Finally, he had someone who wanted him, someone fighting for him. He had friends, family, and support. It would be okay living with Tsume. Sarutobi lowered his head. Forgive this old man, Naruto. I chose the needs of many over the one, but I was blind. I did all I could to protect you, and for that, I hope you understand. Naruto lifted his head, wiping his tears. It's okay, Gigi. Grandpa Thor and Uncle Loki taught me that leaders sometimes have to make hard choices. That's the burden of being a king or a god, he said with a smile. Even though Loki and Thor weren't pleased, they understood. Enough of this. The academy starts soon and you're back early, Sarutobi said. Yes, we wanted Naruto here early so he could train with Tsume, Loki added. Don't worry, either Thor or I will be here in the village at all times to watch over him, Thor said, narrowing his eyes. Sarutobi nodded. Tsume took Naruto's hand, leading him down the street. You'll stay with me and my family. Let's get you checked in with Uruka-sense and maybe annoy your brother Kiba a little, she said, winking at Loki. Thor laughed heartily. Looks like she likes you, brother, he said, then turned serious toward Sarutobi. We have much to discuss. Yes, let's continue this in my office, Sarutobi said, walking back into the towering Hawkage Tower. Shinobi Academy, Naruto, you've grown so tall and strong while you were away, Tsume said, a hint of admiration in her voice. Naruto chuckled, scratching the back of his head as he looked down at her. Well, I went through a couple of awakenings, he began, his tone calm yet distant. First, when my godly blood stirred that night, and then a few days later when my uncle Loki broke the seals some fool put on me as a baby. Those seals were meant to keep me weak, clueless, a simpleton. Once they were gone, it was like the fog in my mind lifted. I finally understood everything, the hatred, the reason behind it, and what was locked away in the seal on my stomach. His smile was soft, but his eyes held a faraway gleam. Tsume clenched her fist, suspicion rising about who could have done such a thing. For now, though, she needed proof before she could confront the culprit. I'm glad you understand it now. How are things between you and your companion? She asked, glancing around the nearly deserted village. Thunder rolled and lightning danced in the sky, almost as if it were following the young blonde walking beside her. We're fine. Friends, Naruto said with a small smile. He's the reason my two foxes are the way they are now. He shared his chakra with them so they could protect me physically, while he watches over me from within. Tsume nodded thoughtfully. Your mother always mentioned she got along with him too, she said. As they arrived at the academy, students were rushing inside, seeking shelter from the rain. Lightning struck near the tree where Naruto had spent hours swinging as a child. A faint smile touched his lips as he looked at the empty swing. That storm is unnatural, Tsume whispered, eyes wide as she stared at the sky. It's reacting to me, Naruto said, smirking. I started this storm as a little prank when we returned. Watch, the lightning changes colors depending on where it strikes, and even the people it touches can change their hair color. Tsume stared, stunned. You can control it like that? Yeah, Naruto said with a grin. My grandfather is the god of lightning and thunder. I inherited his power and added my own. You're not going to tell me everything, are you? She asked, spotting the mischievous spark in his eyes. Nope, Naruto chirped as he opened the door for his godmother. Tsume led him through the academy to the classroom the Hawkage had arranged for him, her son's class. Up the stairs and down the hall to room 222, she stopped. "Here we are, brat," she said, sliding the door open. Kiba jumped from his seat, eyes wide as he saw his mother. "Mom, what are you doing here?" Tsume smiled up at him. "I'm bringing your brother to his first day back in class," she said casually. Kiba frowned, confused. There was only one brother she had called her son before, and he had been gone for so long. Just then, a tall teenage boy stepped into the classroom. Golden blonde hair, streaked with silver lightning highlights, cascaded past his shoulders, partly tied back. He wore a black duster over a hoodie, black cargo pants, and boots, with 2 swords strapped to his back. His piercing crystal blue eyes scanned the room, calm yet commanding. "And Naruto," Kiba stammered, noticing the 2 massive foxes flanking the boy. "Hey, Kiba," Naruto said with a grin. Uruka froze for a moment. "Naruto, it's good to see you again. Please take any seat." Naruto nodded and made his way to the last row, the center seat empty. Scatty and Sneo took their places beside him. "Man, it's good to see you again," Kiba said, his usual energy returning. "Yeah, I've been training with my family for a few years. Missed a lot in the village," Naruto replied, eyes sweeping across the room. "So, 2 partners now, huh?" Kiba asked, glancing at the foxes. "Yep. They've been training with me all this time. My little sisters," Naruto said with a grin. "Tsume Mama said we'll continue training together after school." Kiba's eyes widened as he caught his mother's grin. "Good luck, you'll need it." "Akamaru and I won't go easy on you," Kiba joked. Naruto smirked. "Scatty and Sneo will surprise you with our teamwork." Tsume called the foxes to behave. "I'll see you after school, pups," she said, as lightning struck the academy, making the room flicker. For a moment, Naruto's body shimmered with electricity, his eyes glowing. Hawkage Tower Thor narrowed his eyes at the elderly man. "Did you know about the 2 seals on Naruto's shoulder and neck?" The room glowed soft blue, then green, as several seals exploded around them, revealing hidden observers. "You had spies in your office, it seems," Loki said with a sly grin. Sarutobi let out a long sigh. "I only knew about the hand seal, placed when she couldn't hide being a girl. When did you discover the others?" "When she awakened in Asgard. I broke the seals while training her in magic and sent a message to the one who placed them." "Clearly it never reached you," Loki said, smirking. "I see," Sarutobi murmured, staring out the window. Thor observed the village below. "Naruto's combined your trickster magic with my lightning." "Look," he said, pointing as flowers sprouted from a struck building. "Is that Naruto's doing?" Sarutobi asked, astonished. "Yes, a little payback for those fools," Loki replied. "Should we tell her she's a girl or keep it hidden?" Thor asked. "She trusts Tsume. That's enough," Loki said. "Naruto doesn't want her to be seen as a tool yet. She's already Cage level in skill, Jonin level in combat and experience." "Jonin level?" Sarutobi's jaw dropped. "Yes, we've had to fight to protect both our worlds," Thor explained. "The tail beasts sealed away can't fulfill their roles anymore." "They're guardians, not demons," Sarutobi asked, panic rising. "Yes, but the one tail went rogue, giving the others a bad reputation. The rest just want peace with their human partners," Loki said. "All tail guardians protect us on Earth," Thor added. "They're Asgard's protectors against threats like the Ten Tails, sealed long ago." Heimdall's amber eyes glinted. "I'll keep watch over the Princess of Asgard and Uzu." All nodded in agreement. Shinobi Academy Naruto sat through Uruka's lecture on the history of the Shinobi nations, clans, and ancient events. He yawned politely, having already studied all of it through Tony Stark's AI programs in Asgard. The history of the world before the Shinobi fascinated him, but for now, it was familiar ground. She felt a wave of nostalgia as she realized Tony had preserved all the music from years past up to now. He even had something called an MP3 player, which she loaded with songs and carefully fitted the earbuds she had learned to repair after a few failed attempts. Soon, Eminem's Miss You played, and she let herself get lost in the rhythm, enjoying every note as she always did, no matter the genre. Uruka glanced at Naruto and noticed he wasn't paying attention, almost drifting off to sleep. Frustrated, he flicked a piece of chalk at the boy's forehead. In an instant, Naruto's eyes snapped open, and a strange weapon materialized in his hands, followed by a deafening bang. Everyone watched, mouths agape, as the chalk exploded before their eyes. Trembling, Uruka-sensei asked the question on everyone's mind. What is that thing? Naruto looked at his hands and smiled faintly, thinking of the aunt he never knew and how Thor had safeguarded her firearms after her passing. It's a weapon from a time long forgotten in the world of shinobi, he said, and the object disappeared back into the seal on his wrist. The others just nodded, unsure of what to make of it. Whatever had fired, lightning maybe. They didn't dare ask, fearful of the answer Naruto might give. The final bell rang before Uruka could resume his lengthy lecture. Kiba stood, nudging Naruto. Ready, man? Yeah, let's go. But we might need to stop by the Hawkage Tower to pick up my grandfather and uncle first, Naruto replied, heading out as the Sasuke fangirls trailed after him, their infatuation temporarily redirected. Oh, fangirls, always a chaotic force. Sakura stayed behind, her gaze fixed on her true love. Sasuke-kun, want to join us for dinner? No, he replied coldly, brushing past her. He needed to focus on his training. At the academy gates, Thor and Loki were chatting with Tsume, attracting the admiring and admittedly lustful stares of the village mothers, who could hardly believe the presence of two gods among them. Hey, Grandpa, Uncle Loki, and Tsume Mama, Naruto greeted, walking alongside Kiba, with fangirls shadowing their steps. Hello, Mom, Kiba replied cautiously, his eyes lingering on the dark-haired man beside Tsume. Something about him unsettled Kiba, but Naruto seemed to trust him, so he held back judgment. The blonde man with the single eye reminded Kiba of an older version of Naruto and the late fourth Hokage. Naruto grinned widely. Meet Kiba and Akamaru. You too, this is my grandfather Thor and my uncle Loki. The eavesdropping women smirked, hoping to catch favor with these impressive men. Nice to meet you, Kiba said, bowing, while Akamaru barked once. Loki's eyes flickered with a calculating thought. Skull and Hattie would devour that puppy and perhaps strengthen Tsume's partner's bloodline. Naruto noticed Loki's gaze. I don't think mixing bloodlines is a good idea, he said cautiously. Who's to say? Your cousins could make them stronger, Loki replied, his green eyes briefly flashing amber. Tsume and Kiba exchanged puzzled looks as Thor chuckled. We'll see if these two improve their hound's strength, he said, grinning. They're nothing like Fenrir, though. He snaps at anyone, Sneo growled. Fenrir? Kiba asked, confused. A shadow crossed Loki's face. My son from a past lover. He caused trouble, so he was transformed into a massive wolf. His two sons are strong wolves. Naruto and his kits have been training with them in Asgard, Loki explained, eyes drifting to the cloudy sky. It's fine, uncle. I already got my revenge on Fenrir, Naruto said with a grin. What did you do? Loki asked, alarmed. I chained him up, but his sons broke the seals and warned him he was done for. Then he ran, Naruto said smugly. Loki paled. Seems I won't be seeing my son anytime soon. Perhaps Skull and Hattie should pay a visit, he muttered. The Inuzuka watched, bewildered. You mean your grandchildren are wolves? Tsume asked, walking through the village, shadows of fangirls flitting around them. It's a long story. I can shapeshift, and my son, let's say he angered our father and was punished, Loki said, transforming into a massive black wolf with glowing green eyes. Tsume's eyes widened. Thor can do that too. No, my lady, I'm more suited for battle, Thor said, smiling. Loki reverted to human form with a smirk. Damn, Kiba muttered, impressed. Naruto grinned and transformed into a golden fox, the size of his sisters. Kuramaru sniffed Loki, single eye widening. He smells like a wolf, he growled. Tsume observed as her partner approached Naruto, noting a flash of something in the pup's eyes, but stayed silent. Returning to human form, Naruto caused the villagers to panic slightly. Lightning crackled around him as Loki walked alongside, glare fixed on the onlookers, and Stormbreaker appeared in Thor's hands, sensing the crowd's tension. Don't even think about it, Thor growled. Lightning danced across him, eyes glowing. Ignore the fools, they won't touch the Inuzuka, Tsume said firmly. The crowd quickly scattered as Kuramaru howled, summoning other Inuzuka from the shadows. Tsume-sama, a raven-haired woman knelt before her. I need a detail to protect Naruto in the village, Tsume said. Naruto-sama, it's good to have you back. We've missed you, the woman said, vanishing into the shadows, her team now watching over him. "Tsume mama, you didn't have to," Naruto said, concerned. "Nonsense. Your family and we protect our own," she replied. "You have my armies if anyone dares touch my grandchild," Thor added, lightning fading as Stormbreaker returned to his back. "I'll stay here for now," Loki said, cautious of what awaited them later. Thor nodded. "Fine, send shadows if needed," he said. The group reached the Inuzuka compound, greeted by two young Inuzuka guarding the gates. "Lady Tsume," one said. "Aki and Haru, meet Naruto, his grandfather Thor, and his uncle Loki. They'll be staying here along with Naruto-kun's kitsunes, Sneo and Skita," Tsume introduced. The boys' eyes widened. They had heard tales of Naruto's adventures. "Nice to meet you all," Aki and Haru said in unison. "Come along. I'll show you to your rooms, Naruto, then we begin training," Tsume said. The guest house was modest but fully stocked. "This is where you'll stay," Tsume said. "Lovely," Thor commented, impressed by the food supplies. "We always prepare for guests or men in trouble with their wives," Tsume laughed. "Let's hope they manage until Naruto finishes his training here," Loki added, smirking. Kiba frowned. "What do you mean, Naruto's living here now? He's not going back to that old place." "No way," he said protectively. This caught both Tsume and Naruto completely off guard. They had never seen Kiba act like this before. Sure, he got protective whenever someone flirted with the girls, but this was different. Tsume arched an eyebrow, studying the blonde. Something about him seemed unusual. He had a slightly feminine aura, though the Hyuga men often looked delicate anyway. She shrugged it off, assuming he was simply being overprotective. "Naruto will be living in either his father's or mother's compound, whichever suits our needs better," Loki said, analyzing the boy carefully. "He'll take care of her once she admits it. She's a girl," he thought, glancing back at Tsume. "Then let him have the Namikaze compound. It's close to ours, and if anything happens, Naruto can reach out to us," Tsume decided. Thor and Loki nodded. "In the morning, we'll check both compounds," Thor said. He wanted to see if Naruto truly needed the space. "I'll send a shadow clone along with some of my blood," Naruto said, pausing thoughtfully. "My parents set up blood seals, so I need to provide a sample. I can't exactly skip school just to deal with you two," he added with a playful grin. All eyes went wide at Naruto's calm explanation. "Kurama. Who's that?" Kiba asked, confused. Tsume began sweating bullets. Naruto grinned. "Kurama is the nine-tailed fox, the Kyuubi no Kitsune, whichever name people prefer. He was sealed inside me at birth, because my mother was too weak to survive having him resealed into her. My father did it instead." Naruto looked down, expecting Kiba to explode, calling him a freak or a demon. "Oh, that's it. Well, that explains the fox smell sometimes," Kiba said, shrugging casually. "But you're still my best friend and brother. You're just the jailer, not the demon." He smiled and draped an arm over Naruto's shoulders. Naruto grinned inwardly. "If he takes that well, maybe he'll accept me being a girl too," she thought, gently pushing him off. "Get off me, man," she laughed. Tsume smiled warmly. "Just like old times," she said softly. Thor and Loki quietly observed the scene. "It's good to see you have a strong friend here, Naruto," Thor said, a hint of nostalgia in his voice. Memories of his own companions long gone stirred within him. Though maybe one of them could still be alive, would this world survive if he showed up, he wondered. Loki gave his brother a sharp look. "Don't even think about it," he hissed. Everyone glanced at them, confused. Naruto, however, had an inkling. She had seen videos of a man who couldn't be killed, hanging around her grandfather, manipulated by her uncle to stir trouble. Thor's grin widened. "He'd be fun to unleash on a few fools in the village," he said. Loki shook his head, exhaling. "Not worth it. He was chaotic last time, fun for a bit, but I couldn't handle him now," he said, slightly exasperated. "Who are you talking about?" Naruto asked, curious. Thor's grin returned. "My old friend Wade Wilson, some know him as Deadpool." Naruto's eyes widened. "The videos I saw, that would be catastrophic for everyone here," she said, a hint of fear in her voice. "See, even Naruto agrees. Deadpool would be too dangerous." Loki smirked at his brother. Naruto simply nodded. Thor pouted. "Fine, Grandpa, all you need is a girlfriend," Naruto teased, patting Thor's shoulder. Thor smiled faintly. "Maybe," he replied, looking away. Tsume grinned knowingly. "I have a few single friends," she teased. Thor's face paled. No, you don't have to fix me up, he said, raising his hands defensively. It could be good for you, Loki said, smirking. It's been tough since, well, you know. I'll handle it myself when I'm ready, Thor said. Brother, though, you should get out and date too. Loki's cheeks tinged red. I'm fine, he muttered, looking away. Tsum's curiosity piqued. She'd need to find out the kind of woman Loki liked from Naruto. Naruto noticed the subtle chemistry and smirked. Matchmaking was about to get interesting. So, are we training or are you two just going to flirt all day? Kiba huffed, glaring at his mother and Loki. Pup, Tsum growled, slamming her fist into Kiba's skull. Everyone laughed as he crumpled to the floor, knocked out cold. Training with Kiba was off for a while, 2 hours at least, thanks to Tsum's strength. Naruto sighed. Probably for the best. I need to settle in and a shower sounds amazing, she said. Tsum nodded. Follow me. Dinner will be ready when you're done. She glanced at Thor and Loki. You two are coming tonight. I hope you're meat and potatoes men, she added, guiding Naruto to the main house. Your room is here and the bathroom is just 3 doors down, she explained. Thanks, Tsum Mama, Naruto said, entering the room. Closing the door, she let out a slow breath, dropped her magic, and transformed into her female form. Her duster and hoodie came off, revealing a tank top with her chest bound in wraps, pants hanging loosely on her hips. Man, I need a long soak, she muttered, exhausted from everything that had happened, and the past 5 years. Hurry, remove the wraps before someone sees and casts a spell on you again, Sneo warned. It's fine. Kiba's out cold. No one's walking in, Naruto said. Just as she removed her tank top and bindings, the door slid open. Kiba grinned foolishly. Man, Mom's hit is getting harder. His words froze as his eyes widened, taking in Naruto's female form. A scream escaped Naruto. Get out, Kiba, she shouted, falling to the floor to cover herself. Confused, Tsum rushed to the room, followed by Thor and Loki. They stopped short at the sight of a female Naruto pulling her tank top back on. Naruto, are you? Tsum trailed off, stunned. Doesn't anyone knock? Naruto yelled, panicking. She shoved them out. Let me get dressed and I'll explain everything, she said, closing the door. Hana, standing outside, tilted her head. Mom, what just happened? Kiba and Tsum shared confused looks, while Thor and Loki sighed, clearly annoyed. I told her it wouldn't last long if she lived with someone else, Loki said, hinting at the situation. Everyone stared. You knew, Tsum exclaimed. Yes, but Naruto can explain herself, Thor said firmly. Naruto emerged, dressed in her black hoodie and shorts. Come on, let's sit, I'll explain. She paused, looking sheepish. I'm not sure how to get to the living room. Kiba pointed the way. This way. In the living room, everyone took seats around the usual spot Tsum sat in, leaving the central armchair for Naruto. Sighing, Naruto began. I was born a girl. The old man placed a seal on me because it was too dangerous for me to run around the village as a girl. I was starting to look more feminine, and the fools out there would have hurt me, thinking I was the Kyuubi reborn. I never meant to lie, I was scared. I didn't know how people would react to me being a girl, so I returned as a boy. Yes, I scared my grandfather and uncle by showing up as a girl after they had spirited me away. The old man never gave them a heads up. Naruto, this doesn't change a thing between us. You're still my brother, or sister, I guess, Kiba said, standing and pulling his newly discovered sister into a tight hug. If anyone tries to mess with you, I'll personally kick their asses from here all the way to Iwa. Tears welled up in Naruto's eyes as she hugged him back. Thanks, Kiba, I knew I could trust you, she whispered softly into his ear. Man, I was kinda hoping to have another guy around the house, Kiba joked, earning a playful pout from Naruto. So, your name's still Naruto? Hana asked, trying to wrap her head around having a little sister suddenly. Yeah, as far as I know. The old man never mentioned changing it, Naruto replied, glancing at Hana and Tsum, who were sitting on the arm of the couch next to her daughter. Leave it to Minato and Kushina, Tsum said with a smirk. They gave you a name that works for either a boy or a girl. Naru-chan, I wish you'd told us sooner, but I get it. I've seen what happens to women who carry tailed beasts in other villages. It's dangerous. She looked away, recalling the grim stories. Kurama thinks this is hilarious, Naruto said, the Biju inside her chuckling in her mind as it teased her. She pouted at the creature. Well, I don't mind if Naruto stays hidden as a boy until we reach Genin, Kiba said, all eyes turning to him. Why? Naruto asked curiously. Because I don't want to have to fend off every boy trying to hit on my little sister, Kiba said, cracking his knuckles. And as a genin, you'll be safer. The council and civilians won't dare mess with you, Ibiki, and that crazy woman Hana hangs out with will handle anyone foolish enough. Everyone was surprised. Kiba was actually thinking strategically for once. Wow, Kiba, you actually used that brain of yours. No smoke coming out of it yet, Hana teased, inspecting his head. Hey, Kiba yelped, swatting her hands away, glaring at her. Naruto giggled. Don't worry. I'll keep up this disguise for now. I'll tell my genin team once I officially join, she thought. Kiba nodded, serious for once. I just hope we end up on the same team. Both Tsume and Loki watched, smiling at Kiba's protective instincts. They knew he would look out for her while the rest of the clan was busy. While you're in the compound, I want you to stay as a girl, Tsume instructed. If anyone tries anything or your henge fails, the clan will step in. I'll hold a meeting tonight to inform everyone, and Naruto, if any outsiders enter, you switch back to your male form. Got it, Tsume Mama, Naruto said, nodding. I'll be nearby to make sure your transformation doesn't fail, Loki added, eyes full of concern for his niece. Naruto pouted but nodded in understanding. From the moment the Inuzuka clan discovered Naruto was a girl, they became fiercely protective. And once Tsume revealed that she was the daughter of Minato and Kushina, that protectiveness intensified. Kiba, come on, we're gonna be late, Naruto shouted as they ran out of the clan gates. Yeah, don't get your panties in a twist, Kiba replied, teasing her as they ran. Naruto glared, and one of the twins on gate duty smacked him on the head. Watch your mouth, he growled. It's fine. You two bicker like this all the time, Naruto said with a smirk, causing the twins to pale. Kiba and Naruto dashed off, the clan's watchers following while snickering at the twins' misfortune. So, what team do you think we'll get? Kiba asked, glancing at his little brother. Naruto looked down, hesitant. I'm not sure, but Tsume Mama had a meeting with Gigi last night. She said she'd make sure we get teammates we can actually work with. Kiba nodded, and they leapt across rooftops, avoiding the busy village streets. Better get to the academy quickly. Looks like trouble ahead, Kiba warned, peering down at the crowds. Yeah, Naruto agreed, channeling chakra into her legs as they jumped from roof to roof. Just a few buildings from the academy, she looked down at the clearing below. Think you can make the jump into the courtyard? Kiba shook his head. No way, but you might manage it. Naruto nodded, sprinting with a flash of speed that left a faint blur behind her. Kiba muttered under his breath, Mom's gonna have a few heads tonight, noticing the protective detail and ANBU scattered below. Naruto took a deep breath, pulled Mjolnir from the seal on her wrist, and swung it in a wide arc before launching herself over the villagers. They stared, frozen with fear as the demon brat soared overhead, landing gracefully on the academy steps. She darted inside, safe for now. Kiba arrived minutes later, panting. Auntie Suki and several ANBU are dealing with those fools, plus a big guy with a giant sword, he said. Guess they pissed off Uncle Heimdall, Naruto sighed. Wouldn't want to be on the other side of that sword. And the village can't touch him, he's above the law. They entered the classroom, finding their classmates already seated. Kiba hooked his arm around Naruto's as they climbed in. Relax, he said. I'm just worried about my teammates, Naruto admitted, glancing at the few girls who had made it to Genin. You'll be fine, Loki appeared beside her desk, smirking. I know something, but I'll let your sensei reveal it. Naruto crossed her arms, pouting. I should let Grandpa dig up Deadpool, she muttered. Kiba chuckled at her childish antics. You showed me those videos. I'd set that fool on anyone trying to mess with us. But it might backfire, Kiba yawned. Naruto looked out the window as Thor appeared, his lightning scaring the villagers away. Looks like my brother showed up, Loki noted. Yeah, Gigi and the council are gonna have their hands full, Naruto sighed. Uruka entered, greeting the class proudly. Good morning, everyone, he said. I have the finalized team assignments, he continued. The room fell silent. Kurama whispered to Naruto, I hope she got you on a team with Kiba. It'd make things easier. He'd protect me from anyone else, Naruto murmured. The villagers had been giving her trouble, but ANBU and Tsume had kept them in check. Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Kiba Inuzuka, Uruka announced. Both boys fist-bumped while Sasuke scowled but was secretly relieved. Team 8, Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga, and Sakura Haruno, Uruka continued. Sakura cried, frustrated she wasn't paired with her crush. Team 10, Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi, and Ino Yamanaka, Uruka finished with a proud smile. You've all done well, Uruka said. Soon you'll face missions and the battlefield. Be ready. He bowed and left them, leaving the students to wait for their sensei. Naruto sat beside Kiba, glancing around the classroom. Looks like they split us into 2 tracking teams, he said thoughtfully. But it seems our team will also be on the front lines. I've got some skill in weapons and ninjutsu. Down there, team is strong in ninjutsu and taijutsu, and you, Kiba, are good at taijutsu and tracking. With a bit more training, you'll be well-rounded too. Kiba nodded. He had been slowly learning kenjutsu under Loki's guidance, while Loki's grandsons trained the Inuzuka clan's ninkin to better coordinate with their human partners. Who do you think will be our sensei? Kiba asked, curiosity in his voice. Loki, standing by the window, watched quietly, keeping an eye on his brother before he went to war with the village. No idea, Naruto admitted. I don't understand why Uruka-sensei didn't tell us. Usually, the sensei introduces themselves to the genin first. The room went silent as the sliding door opened, and several jonin entered. One silver-haired man was being dragged in by Thor, his nose buried in a small orange book that probably wasn't meant for public reading. Thor tossed the man up to where Loki stood. Loki raised an eyebrow at his brother. This is Naruto's sensei. Make sure he behaves. I have a meeting to attend, Thor said, disappearing in a flash of lightning. Kakashi, curious, uncovered his hidden eye, eager to see whether the man was using a jutsu or revealing a bloodline ability. You can't copy that, Loki said quietly, looking down at Kakashi. It's part of his godly power, something he was born with. Kakashi covered his eye, making sure none of the genin noticed. Standing up, he addressed them. Team 7, meet me on the roof. His gaze swept over the 3 male students. Oddly, this was the only all-male team he knew of. Usually, teams had at least 1 female. Naruto grinned at Kiba and placed a hand on his shoulder. In a flash of lightning, they appeared on the roof before Kakashi, sparks dancing around them. Kakashi's eye widened. Such a skill was rare even among jonin or high-ranking chunin. Just then, Sasuke barreled up the stairs, bursting through the door. The fox Ninkin leapt over the railing where Kakashi leaned. Why don't we start by introducing ourselves? Kakashi suggested. Loki appeared behind him. Sensei should always introduce himself first, he said coolly. Kakashi nodded. I'm Kakashi Hadake. I like a lot of things and some I can't tell you yet. I dislike a few things. My future plans. Honestly, I don't really know. So, he's a massive pervert, all 3 thought in unison. Kurama smirked. He was a student of your late father, he whispered mischievously. Naruto stood tall. I'm Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of your late sensei, grandson of Thor, god of thunder and king of Asgard, and grandnephew of Loki, god of mischief and advisor to the king. I love my family and friends. I dislike closed-minded fools who can't tell the difference between a sealing scroll and the kunai sealed inside. My dream is to become Hokage. Kakashi paled. This boy knew of his late sensei. But how? Who had told him? His mind raced. He turned to Kiba. And you, puppy boy? I'm Kiba Inuzuka, and this is Akamaru, my partner. We value family and friends. I dislike idiots and people who hurt animals. My dream, I'm still figuring that out, Kiba admitted thoughtfully. Kakashi's gaze shifted to Sasuke. Sasuke scowled. I'm Sasuke Uchiha. I like nothing and dislike everything. I don't have any dreams to share. We are Naruto's partners, Sneo and Scatty, said Sneo, glancing at her sister. You can talk, Kakashi asked, startled. Yes, we're not mindless beasts, Scatty growled, glaring at him. Kakashi nodded and addressed the team. Tomorrow morning, we'll have a survival exam. Meet at training ground 7 at 7 a.m. If I were you, I wouldn't eat anything. With a smirk, he vanished. Naruto narrowed his eyes at the spot where he had been. I'm eating before then, we'll need all our energy. Whatever, Sasuke muttered, walking off. Loki's eyes narrowed. That boy is full of darkness. It isn't good. Naruto and Kiba glanced at each other and then at the direction Sasuke had disappeared. He needs help, Naruto said. Kiba nodded in agreement. Loki turned to them. Come on, let's see what the future has in store. Kiba, you might need to attend meetings while your sister is away as clan head, he explained. Council chambers, what do you think you're doing? Trying to stop my grandson from learning his team? Thor roared, lightning flashing in his eye and across his eye patch. Please calm down, Thor-sama, the third Hawkage said nervously. I'll calm down when these fools know their place. They are not Hawkage and have no real power, Thor hissed. I don't care what you say, a civilian shouted. Loki appeared, stopping Thor. Enough, brother, I'll handle it, he said, glaring at the pale, terrified man. Thor's lightning calmed, and he returned to the Namikaze council chair, keeping a sharp eye on Loki. Zoom growled. Leave my son alone. My clan will stop shopping at your stores, Loki smirked. I'll be opening shops and bringing supplies from Asgard, he said. The civilian council erupted in anger. How can you do that? You don't have the authority, a blonde woman yelled. I do. The Lord Hawkage approved my shops 2 months ago, and some of you have already shopped there, Loki said, emerald eyes flashing. The third Hawkage confirmed this. The room went quiet, stunned. Naruto sighed. I have the Kyuubi sealed inside me. I am the son of the late fourth Hawkage and Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. You're lying, someone screamed. Check the photo of my father, Naruto said, pointing. He looks like me and my grandfather. Gasps filled the chamber as Thor stood behind him, Loki smiling wickedly. The third Hawkage chuckled. Now you see, the boy is Minato's son and grandson of Thor. Kiba snickered, sitting beside his mother, Tsume. I'm Naruto's godmother. I was there when his parents married. I found out Kushina was pregnant and Minato was overjoyed. He planned to announce it when Naruto was 2 months old, but the fox attack changed everything, Tsume explained, a few tears in her eyes. Naruto looked at the council. I think we broke them, he said cheerfully. The meeting is over, the third Hawkage said as they left. Early morning, Hattie and Skull slept curled around Naruto, who rested soundly. Kiba and Tsume walked in, and Tsume couldn't resist taking a photo of the serene scene. Naruto buried his face into Skull's fur as the flash went off. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Skull said, lifting his head off the bed and glancing at her soon-to-be grandmother. Why not? You all look so adorable, Tsume replied with a mischievous, almost feral smirk. Because cute little Naruto has this charming habit of destroying cameras if someone tries to photograph her without permission, Hattie added, looking up from his spot. SHH, I need more sleep, Naruto whined, burrowing her face deeper under the blankets. It's time to get up, pup, Tsume said, yanking the covers away from the blonde. Just like your mother in the mornings, she added with a laugh, thinking of her old friend. No, Naruto groaned, peeking at the demon who refused to let her sleep longer. I don't want to get up. Too bad. We have to head out for the team nonsense with that one-eyed freak, Kiba said, growing increasingly irritated at his sister's resistance. Naruto puffed her cheeks and glared at her brother and mother. Fine, she huffed, sliding out from her small circle of fur where she had been sleeping. Tsume grinned. Consider yourself lucky I didn't give you an ice bath. Naruto's eyes widened as she spotted the bucket of ice and water by the doorway. Hastily, she gathered her clothes and started getting ready, not wanting to incur Tsume's wrath, because that never ended well for her. Loki appeared beside Tsume, surveying his grandsons lounging on Naruto's bed like they owned the place. Come on, you two lazybones. You're going with Naruto to report back on her team's exam with that sensei they got, he said, glancing away. He still had doubts about trusting Kakashi with his niece's life. If it were up to him, one of the warrior trio would have been her sensei. Perhaps he'd discuss it with the Hawkage later. Yeah. We'll put the fear of you into that fool, Hattie said, his muzzle stretching into a mischievous grin. Good, Loki replied, turning to give Tsume a kiss on the cheek. Good morning, my love. He glanced at Kiba, who had turned green and bolted, gagging and yelling at Naruto to hurry. Tsume giggled. Good morning, darling. Looks like we've traumatized Kiba for life. She watched with amusement as her son pounded on the bathroom door while Naruto shoved a bar of soap into his mouth. Both adults laughed at his misfortune. Use the other bathroom, idiot, Naruto yelled, slamming the door on Kiba's face. He tumbled backward, nose glowing red where the door had struck it, soap hanging halfway out of his mouth, stunned. Moments later, Naruto emerged, looking more like a boy than a girl, smirking down at him. You might want to spit that out. Kiba, still dumbfounded, nodded and obeyed. You should have covered yourself better with that towel, he muttered, turning green again before shoving Naruto aside and rushing to vomit. Naruto blinked, comprehension dawning. "Kiba, I will kill you," she screamed, prompting Hana to crawl from her room, glaring at her siblings. "Shut you p!" Hana growled, kunai in hand, aiming at Naruto and Kiba, who had finally opened the bathroom door, both blushing. "Well, you shouldn't have stayed out all night with Anko and the boys," Kiba retorted, recalling how Hattie and Skal had carried her home just hours earlier. Hana flushed bright red. "Shut up," she muttered, pushing past them to take a long shower before heading to the clinic. "That's enough, you two. I think you've woken everyone in the compound. Let's eat before you leave," Tsum said, eyeing her troublemakers. They nodded obediently, following her like well-trained pups. Loki smiled, impressed at how she could command those around her. She would make an incredible mother for their future children. Loki's thoughts drifted. He had never considered more children, believing those days were behind him. But Tsum made him want more little monsters to raise, hoping they would surpass their siblings. He couldn't fault them for past antics. They were bound to be mischievous. Training Ground 7, Kakashi arrived to an unusual sight. Naruto napping with two massive wolves draped over her and two foxes curled on her lap. Kiba was asleep beside them, while Sasuke sat in a tree, glaring down. "Yo," Kakashi called as he approached. Sasuke fixed him with a sharp look. "About time you showed up," he hissed. "Well, I got lost on the road of life," Kakashi replied casually, noting the raven-haired boy's twitching eye. "Just tell the idiots to call off those wolves," Sasuke growled, glaring down. Kakashi tilted his head. "Why, they're sleeping." "Shut you p, I'm sleeping," Naruto growled, one eye flicking open. "You're late," she muttered, returning to slumber. Kiba yawned and opened one eye. "Oh, it's just you. About time," he said, nudging Naruto awake. Naruto glared at him and Kakashi. "I'd rather train with the warrior trio. They respect training and don't waste time." Kakashi's sweat dropped. He'd hoped this would foster bonding, but apparently Naruto wanted to kill Sasuke immediately. Naruto stood as the wolves and foxes stirred. Smirking at Sasuke, she said sing-song, "Play nice, team, and my cousins won't try to eat you again." "Cousins?" Kakashi asked, confused by the massive black wolves. "We mean us," growled one wolf. "We weren't planning to eat him, just wanted a nice chunk of meat," said the other, sporting a white skull pattern. Kakashi's eye widened. "Summons," Naruto rolled her eyes. "No, they're Uncle Loki's grandsons," she said. Green and black smoke swirled around the wolves, then dissipated to reveal two young men, 17 or 18. "We're Hattie and Skal," they said in unison. "Cousins and, sometimes, ninja partners when Naruto needs extra wolf power for missions Uncle or Grandpa sent her on." Their grin hinted at mischief. "Enough," Naruto said, smirking. "Turn back into your wolf forms. Kiba and I will need your help. And no biting the team. We don't need Uncle Loki hearing the civilian council complaining about demon wolves attacking an Uchiha." "Fine," Hattie and Skal said, pouting. "But if he makes a move," Skal's warning hung in the air. Sasuke jumped down and stood next to the losers, reluctantly calling his teammates. Kakashi frowned. "Not sure it's fair to have cousins in this exam." "Oh, it's fair," Hattie grinned. "Or we could call Uncle or Grandpa," Sasuke smirked. "Or maybe it just proves how weak you are." The twin wolves laughed. "Weak? She's killed several frost and stone giants," Skal said, giggling at the pampered Uchiha. Sasuke's eye twitched. The wolves and foxes fell back giggling, proving his arrogance. "Anyway, this exam is to see how well we work as a team. Otherwise, it's pointless. If you don't want us as students, Tsum Mama would gladly take Kiba and me as apprentices," Naruto said, eyes glowing softly. "How did you know the real purpose of this exam?" Kakashi asked, surprised. "Easy. Genin teams are usually 4, 2 males, 1 female, and a Jonin. But teams like ours with 3 males are special," Naruto explained, smirking. Kakashi blinked, taken aback. "We can do this, but we'll take you down fast," Sneo added with a sly grin. "How well have your 3 worked together in the academy?" Kakashi asked, now reconsidering his judgment. "Sasuke and I get along fine. Naruto just joined recently, but he and I have been training together at home," Kiba said, glancing at their sensei. "I did all right with him at the academy during the few days I was there," Naruto added, smirking slightly at Sasuke. "The idiot and the goofball aren't bad. They put in a little more effort than the annoying fangirls," Sasuke said, casting a sharp glance at Kakashi. Anyway, I've heard failing isn't an option for this team, a voice called from behind Kakashi. Naruto and Kiba grinned as they recognized the speaker. Kakashi turned slowly, a trace of unease in his voice. And you are? Thor and Loki stood with arms crossed, the god of thunder's smirk just barely hiding amusement. Loki's lips curved into a mischievous smile. We heard the civilian council won't tolerate failure when it comes to their little pet Uchiha, he said, glancing at Sasuke. The boy's frown deepened. No one dared call him a pet, especially not someone who thought themselves superior. Yes, I was quite surprised as well. I had a little chat with the Hawkage about this. If my grandson and future nephew fail today, I'll be sending the Warriors 3 to take over their training, Thor added, his grin widening. Kakashi hung his head, defeated. They'll pass, he muttered. There was no way out. Sasuke turned to Naruto and Kiba, curious. Who exactly are these Warriors 3 you keep talking about? Naruto's face lit up as he shared the story. They're my grandfather's old teammates, the ones who fight beside him. Well, aside from the Avengers, who are long gone. The Warriors 3 are still around, though. I always loved hearing their stories. Sasuke nodded slowly. They strong. They are, Naruto confirmed, but they don't use jutsu, they rely on magic and otherworldly powers. He could tell Sasuke was piecing things together. The Uchiha merely nodded and looked away. So, what now? Kiba asked, glancing at their lazy teacher. Kakashi sighed. I have to report to the Hawkage Tower and confirm you passed. After that, you're free to go. Naruto, Kiba, Loki called. The boys turned toward him. Yeah, uncle, Naruto asked, tilting his head. It's time to train, Loki said, looking at both of them. With your Ninken, you two need to stay sharp. Sasuke's frown deepened at the mention of training. All right, Kiba said, nodding at Naruto. Let's go, man. Yeah, coming, Naruto replied, turning to Sasuke. Wanna join us? Sasuke looked at him as if he'd grown two heads. No, and with that he walked away. Just let him be, Kiba muttered, disappointed by Sasuke's refusal to bond with his teammates. The boy has a lot on his mind. He just realized he's considered a pet by the civilian council when he believed he was the master of them. Skull remarked with a smirk. Naruto nodded quietly and followed his family as Kakashi disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Hawkage Tower Team 6 failed, a Jonin reported. Very well. Kakashi? The third Hawkage asked, noting Kakashi's unusually early arrival in his office. Team 7 passed, but only because I was being pressured by the civilian council and elders, Kakashi explained, drawing all eyes to him. Sarutobi nodded. I suspected something was going on behind my back. They've been suspiciously quiet lately. I'm glad you finally have a team, Kakashi, he said, smiling like a grandfather. Asuma, what will you do about this? A dark-haired man asked, cigarette in hand. For now, I'll let them dig their own holes. They think I'm unaware of their plans, the Hawkage replied. Asuma smirked internally. Finally, the old man shows some backbone, he thought, having watched the elders and civilian council run wild unchecked. Now Kurenai, Sarutobi asked. Team 8 passed with flying colors, she said, smiling. Team 10 also passes, Asuma confirmed without needing to be prompted. Very well. Only 3 teams this cycle is troubling. We'll revise the academy's curriculum. Graduation rates have been declining, and it doesn't reflect well on the village, the Hawkage said. All present nodded in agreement. 3 months later at midnight, Naruto practiced on the lake, fighting her shadow clones to tire herself for sleep. On the shore, a sleepy Nara stirred, about to face his mother's wrath at home. Shikamaru yawned and opened his eyes, startled by splashes and yells. A blonde-haired figure was moving gracefully across the water, fighting against her own clones. His eyes widened at her bright shorts and black sports bra. Her sandals and jacket lay abandoned on the shore. Naruto leapt over a sweeping kick from a clone, spinning midair to throw a kunai at another emerging from the water. Fire Lotus, she shouted as flaming lotus petals shot from her mouth, striking the clone attempting the leg sweep. Another clone rose, and she countered with a sonic blast. The attack sent her flying toward the shore where 2 clones awaited, both popped on impact. Ouch, I won't be hearing straight for a while, she groaned, as Shikamaru stood nearby. Troublesome, he muttered. Naruto froze, wide-eyed. Shit, she whispered. How long are you hiding from everyone? Shikamaru asked calmly, studying her. Naruto paled, unsure how or if she should respond. I know you were born the night of the attack. I also know you aren't the fox, just its prison, he said, sighing. She felt Kurama's deep voice urging her. Kit, calm down, you can answer him or run. Not wanting confrontation, she did the one thing she never wanted Shikamaru to see. She ran, leaving her things behind in a flash of lightning. Troublesome, Shikamaru muttered, picking up her belongings. Tomorrow he'd return them, today he had to face his own mother's wrath. Kiba awoke early, a strange unease in his gut. Why am I up so early? He muttered, glancing at the clock. 5:45 a.m. He sighed and ran a hand through his hair, heading for a long shower before the women of his family woke and stole the hot water. 45 minutes later, dressed and ready, he moved to the kitchen, planning breakfast for himself and Akamaru. A knock at the door interrupted him. Opening it, he found Shikamaru holding a bag. Hey, Shikamaru, Kiba said cautiously. I'm returning something that belongs to Naruto before team training, Shikamaru said calmly. Kiba froze. What do you have of my sisters? Akamaru growled, sensing her scent. Shikamaru met Kiba's gaze. I know Naruto is a girl, he said. What? Kiba shouted, panicking. From inside, Naruto's voice called, Kiba, what are you doing outside? Crap, Kiba hissed as she appeared, eyes landing on Shikamaru. Troublesome, she muttered. Kiba yanked Shikamaru inside, who stumbled onto the floor, looking up at Naruto in just shorts and a sports bra, cheeks flushing. Kiba narrowed his eyes. Why does he have your clothes and know you're a girl? His yell woke the entire household and some neighbors. Naruto paled as she looked at her brother. Well, you see, I was training on Lake Training Ground 10 last night around midnight. It's the farthest one from the others, so I didn't expect anyone else to be there, she explained, pointing at Shikamaru, who was now standing as Hana's triplets bounded around him, barking and growling, with Akamaru perched on one of their heads. Kiba's right eye twitched. Mom specifically told you to train at the backyard lake, he growled. Naruto shifted uncomfortably, rubbing the back of her neck. I'm sorry, I just needed some time alone to think. Shikamaru watched the siblings bicker quietly. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. I know Naruto's not exactly popular and some things she keeps secret every day. Good pup, Tsume's voice called from the kitchen, where she stood with Hana, Thor, and Loki, all eyes on the Nara heir. Thor grinned. It's good that someone knows. Naruto hates hiding who she is. But his expression darkened. Why are my granddaughter's clothes in your possession? Sweating, Shikamaru explained. When I woke up and saw her training on the water, she was wearing her usual outfit. Her shirt, jacket, and sandals were on the shore. I didn't get a chance to call out before she ran off. Lightning sparked in Thor's eyes. Naruto let out an awkward laugh. Yeah, I did run away like a scared kid. Thanks for keeping my things safe and my secrets intact. Shikamaru gave a small sigh. It would have been nice to know one of my academy friends was a girl. Ino was too annoying to deal with back then. Naruto grinned cheekily. Don't feel bad. Kiba walked in on me changing once, so he knows I'm a girl. That's when I returned to the village. Kiba turned green and paled. I'm traumatized for life. No one wants to see their sister half naked. Kiba whined. Tsume called from the living room. Shikamaru, care to join us for breakfast? Loki and Thor were busy preparing food, while Hana perched on the kitchen island. If it's no trouble, Shikamaru replied. No trouble at all, sit down. We have a few things to discuss, Loki said with a smile. Shikamaru nodded nervously. I'm going to die, he thought as Naruto dashed off to her room to get ready, while Kiba guided him to the table. Now that you know she's a girl, I don't want you bothering her. She's my sister, and if the Uchiha finds out, he'll just treat her like breeding stock, Kiba growled, worried about Sasuke. Don't worry. I doubt she'd like a slacker like me. If Sasuke tries anything, Choji and I will handle it, Shikamaru said calmly. Tsume and Hana exchanged smirks. He'd fit perfectly in the family, Tsume thought. He's adorable with Naruto, Hana mused. Both women nodded to each other, vanishing with their own little mission in mind. Naruto. With Naruto fresh from the shower, Naruto headed to her room, but Tsume and Hana intercepted her in the hallway, each grabbing an arm and lifting her off her feet. What's going on? Naruto asked, bewildered. Well, Naru-chan, Hana started, glancing at her mother, we want to know how you feel about the Nara boy. Naruto tumbled onto the hardwood floor, blushing furiously. Well, I did have a little crush back in the academy before I went to live with my grandfather, she admitted, looking away. Hana squealed like a schoolgirl while Tsum's smirk widened. Good to hear, she said. From the doorway, a calm voice interrupted. She's too young to date maybe for the next 100 years. It was Thor, eyes closed. Tsum growled. Why can't she date? The more restrictions, the more they want to rebel, she told him, but Thor only frowned, unwilling to let his granddaughter grow up too quickly. I just got her back, I'm not ready for dating talk yet, Thor mumbled, wiping his tears. Oh, Grandpa, I'm focused on becoming a shinobi, and someday, Hokage, Naruto said confidently, fully dressed, hair in a low ponytail. Thor wiped his face. All right, with Kiba so we understand each other, Kiba asked Shikamaru. Troublesome, yes, don't worry, neither I nor Choji will do anything foolish. Ino can know if you make sure she understands the consequences, Shikamaru replied with a sigh. When Naruto's ready, it'll happen. Her sensei doesn't even know yet. He thinks he's stuck with an all-boys team, Kiba laughed, picturing Kakashi's reaction. Any harm comes to her and you'll answer to us, Loki said, setting a plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs on the table. Thor followed with milk, juice, and coffee. Come on, leave Shikamaru alone. He understands the situation, Naruto said in her male voice, sitting beside him. Seeing you as a girl, it'll be weird now seeing you as a boy again, Shikamaru admitted, sipping his milk. It took me a bit to adjust too, Kiba said, serving himself. You'll get over it. Everyone did, Naruto laughed, pouring coffee. Shikamaru shivered slightly, watching Naruto's energy. Who knew she being a girl would feel like this? He thought, glancing at Tsum smirking knowingly. Training Ground 7, Sasuke leaned against a tree, waiting for his teammates and sensei. He arrived before 8 a.m. per Kakashi's instructions. Just be careful, and let us meet anyone you want to date first, Kiba said to Naruto, who blushed slightly. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Losers, he muttered, loud enough for them to hear. Morning team, hope you had your coffee, Naruto called cheerfully. Kiba sighed. It's going to be a long day, and leapt into a tree to relax, hoping for a quick nap before Kakashi arrived. Good morning, my cute little genin, came Kakashi's voice from above. Kiba landed in front of Naruto, positioning himself between her and Sasuke as usual, protective as ever. So, what's on the agenda today, sensei? Naruto asked, beaming, a travel mug of coffee clutched in his right hand. Well, Kakashi replied with a small, amused smile, we're officially banned from pursuing Tora. Instead, the Hokage has assigned us a team mission alongside Team 10. We need to report to the Hokage for the briefing. Sasuke's lips curled into a smirk. Finally, a mission worthy of my skills. But why are we stuck with those losers from Team 10? He thought, turning away from the training ground. Wait up, team, Naruto called, sprinting after him with Kiba hot on his heels. Kakashi sighed. Those two, there's definitely something going on there. Maybe this mission will reveal it, he mused, vanishing and reappearing beside his students as they headed toward the Hokage Tower. So we're paired with Team 7? Ino asked, hearts twinkling in her eyes. Yes, Asuma confirmed, blowing a small puff of smoke from his pipe. They got banned from the Tora mission after Naruto's cousins almost caused trouble with Tora. So the Hokage decided to send us together on a C-rank mission. Team 10 froze, all eyes on Asuma. Wait, Naruto's cousins almost ate Tora, Choji exclaimed, disbelief written all over his face. They're wolves, Asuma explained calmly. And the grandsons of Naruto's uncle, Loki. They can shift into wolf form and sometimes assist Naruto on missions. I thought they were Tsum's partners, Ino said, confused. Technically, Kiba's mom's partner is a wolf too, but it's smaller than the two with Naruto, Shikamaru clarified, glancing at his blonde-haired teammate. The team nodded silently, and Asuma said, Let's head to the Hokage Tower for the mission briefing and figure out what kind of escort we're handling. Hokage Tower, an older man with gray hair, clad in a black sleeveless shirt, shorts, and sandals, sat across from the Hokage, a sake bottle in hand. Lord Hokage, I need a C-rank protection mission. I've been having trouble with bandits and highwaymen, and I need protection for my crew while building my bridge, he explained. I have 2 genin teams that could handle this, the third Hokage said. How long do you expect this project to take with their protection? If they can keep threats at bay, about a month. If not, maybe 2, the man admitted. Sarutobi nodded. He wasn't thrilled about assigning 2 teams to one mission for such a long period, but he had done longer missions before. Very well. Wait in the anteroom, he instructed, and the man bowed, leaving under ANBU escort. The Hawkage's office door burst open as Naruto bounded in, Ino right behind him. Leaping onto the rafters, Naruto hid behind an ANBU guard. Naruto, you'll pay for spilling coffee on me, Ino growled, noticing only the Hawkage's smirk and an open window. Blushing, she bowed. Forgive me, Lord Hawkage. Naruto spilled coffee on me after Kiba tripped him. It's all right, Ino-chan. I'm sure Naruto will take care of it, Sarutobi said, grandfatherly. I'm making him do my laundry for a month, she grumbled. Sorry, it was an accident. Kiba tripped me. Naruto's voice echoed from the rafters. Ino huffed. Couldn't you just say sorry? I did, but you tried to attack me over a spill, so I ran, Naruto called, appearing beside the ANBU. Well, you owe me lunch for a week, then we're even, Ino softened. Deal, Naruto grinned, landing next to Team 10's blonde. So, old man, what's this co-op mission about? He asked the Hawkage casually. The third Hawkage chuckled, rolling out the mission scroll. Escort protection. Should take 1 month, possibly 2 if there are delays. Nice, Naruto grinned at Kiba. Here's the scroll, Sarutobi said, handing it to Kakashi and Asuma. Bring in the client. The old man, Tazuna, entered, sipping sake. You want a bunch of kids to guard me? He asked skeptically. Asuma and I will handle anything beyond their capability, Kakashi reassured, his eye smile slightly unsettling Tazuna. I'm doomed, Tazuna thought silently. Don't worry. We're stronger than we look, Naruto declared with a grin. Yeah, sure, Tazuna muttered. I'm Tazuna, the bridge builder, and I expect full protection from you and your crew. Consider it done, Naruto said, turning to Kakashi. Which gate and what time? South Gate, 30 minutes. Plenty of time to get supplies, Kakashi replied. The genin nodded and vanished in a flash, Naruto and Kiba's shadows crackling as they teleported. Team 10 stared in awe, Sasuke scuffed. Show-offs, he muttered, heading out. Sarutobi sighed, glancing at the Celtic symbol left on the floor. Naruto and Kiba appeared before the twins guarding the gate. Lightning flashed as they landed. Hey, Naruto called with a goofy grin. The twins waved him off as Kiba ran past with his foxes and Akamaru in tow. Come on, no time for these losers, he laughed, pulling Naruto along. Inside, Thor and Sum were reviewing files when the door swung open. You two home early, Thor said with a smile. Mission outside the village about a month with Team 10, Naruto explained. And Naruto's probably going to give me gray hair, Kiba complained. Sum's eyes softened. Be careful, Naru. Don't let anyone find out your secret. Already been a little careless. I'll be careful. I won't wander off alone. If I train, Kiba or Shika will watch my back, Naruto said, pouting slightly. You better, Kiba growled, heading to pack. Thor asked, normal outfit or warrior outfit from the Warriors 3? Naruto grinned. I'd wear it, but it's female-sized, and I can't risk anyone finding out. I'll stick to what I already have, battle skirt, leggings, armored corset, and duster. Sum let out a tired sigh. It'd be simpler if you just admitted you're a girl, she said, glancing at the two in front of her. I can't argue with that, love, but for now, it's safest to keep her identity under wraps, Loki said, appearing with a scroll in his hand. This might not be the exact battle outfit you'd prefer, but it'll do for now. I even got one for Kiba, he added with a smile, and his 2 grandsons stepped up behind him. We were told we have to go on a babysitting mission, and backing out isn't an option, Huddy said, looking between Naruto and his grandfather. Thor snorted. Looks like the all-seeing eye has been keeping tabs on our little princess again, he said with a wide grin. Fine, just turn into wolves and I'll ride on your back, Huddy, Naruto said, pouting. The two burst out laughing before shifting into massive wolf forms, towering before everyone. How's this, princess? Skull teased, a smirk tugging at his muzzle. Naruto grinned, snatching the scrolls from Loki and planting a kiss on his cheek before tossing one to Kiba as he left his room. Uncle Loki got us new clothes for the mission, she called, darting past him. Kiba just nodded, a little dumbfounded, before retreating to see what Loki had prepared for him. While the kids packed, Sum stood up and prepared extra food scrolls. She knew that with additional mouths along for the mission, it would make life easier for their client. Don't worry, we can hunt too. We've got our own supplies, Huddy said, grinning at the feral woman. I know, but this team has a genin who can eat almost as much as Thor, though I'm fairly certain Naruto could out-eat him, Tsume said, drawing surprised glances. It wasn't every day someone could rival the god of thunder in appetite. After 20 minutes of packing, Kiba and Naruto returned to the kitchen, ready for travel. Kiba wore a black and dark gray leather duster with a hood that shaded his face, paired with black combat pants and boots. His shirt was a dark gray, tight-fitting design, crafted from the experimental fabric Naruto had developed based on iron suits. Naruto herself wore a black duster trimmed in crimson, a hood, black combat pants, matching boots with red accents, and a crimson body-tight shirt. Both wore gloves matching their outfits. This fabric hides that I'm a girl and makes me look more like a boy, Naruto said, grinning at Loki. It took a few spells to get it right, plus a program Tony had hidden away that I discovered while reviewing things last night, Loki said with a grin. Naruto nodded. Perfect, but we need to move. We've got 5 minutes to reach the gates and start the mission. Tsume handed over the last of their supplies. Here, I packed enough food for about 5 months. Naruto and Kiba nodded, appreciating her thoughtfulness, knowing it would keep them from starving their client. Outside, Naruto grabbed Kiba's hand, and in a flash of lightning, they vanished. Moments later, thunder cracked over the south gate. The guards shielded their eyes, bracing for an attack, only to see 2 teens with Konoha headbands, massive wolves, foxes, and a small puppy riding atop a pure black wolf. Naruto leapt onto Huddy's back while Kiba walked alongside, ready to meet the waiting teams. Naruto lay across Huddy's back, grinning. Ino approached cautiously. Naruto. Naruto smiled at her and nodded toward Skull. You can ride on Skull, the others can walk. Ino's eyes widened in delight. Thank you, Naruto. She hugged him before climbing onto Skull's back. Relax and enjoy the ride, princess, Skull teased with a wink. Blushing, Ino glanced at Naruto, who snickered. Be careful, Skull. One of my princesses will be upset if you're reckless. Our princesses wouldn't get mad. We treat them like queens, Skull said, laughing. If you say so. Anko and Hana will deal with you too when we return, Naruto laughed, noticing Anko watching with an evil smirk. Oh well, their funeral, he thought. Teams, let's move out, Kakashi said, smiling over his book. How are those 2 supposed to protect me riding around like that? Tazuna asked. Don't worry, old man. Our cousin is used to taking princesses into battle, Huddy said, grinning. I can fight just fine with the princess on my back and protect both of you, Skull added. Tazuna muttered to himself, checking his sake. I think this stuff might be bad, Naruto laughed. Nope, just shapeshifters. Werewolves, I guess. Tazuna froze, recalling childhood tales of night monsters. But how? Long story, you don't need the details, Skull said, slightly annoyed. Naruto, tell your cousins to calm down, Kakashi called from behind his book. I have no control over them, Naruto shrugged, glancing at Kiba. The wolves laughed at him. No control over us? Yeah, right, we're his protectors. He's the next king once Thor steps down, Huddy said. Whatever, let's go, losers. I'm done with your nonsense, Sasuke muttered, striding out of the village. Everyone rolled their eyes except Ino. Asuma lit his cigarette. Let's move out, he said. Miles ahead, Loki met Heimdall, standing over 2 unconscious men. Someone's trying really hard to take down that bridge builder, Heimdall said with a sigh. Can you find out who's behind this? Loki asked. Yes, Heimdall replied, vanishing. Loki mounted one of the knocked-out men, waiting for the others to arrive. Back with teams 7 and 10. So, what's the land of waves like? Ino asked from atop Skull. Tazuna smiled sadly. It's beautiful, surrounded by ocean with forests nearly encircling the island. Fishing, exporting wood, mining, we have gold and ruby mines too. His eyes glistened. I'd love to see it while we're there, Ino said. Naruto nodded. The wolves sensed something and froze. Naruto looked down at Huddy. What's wrong? We smell grandfather, Heimdall, and poison, Huddy growled. Ino, get down. My uncle might be in danger, Naruto said. She nodded and leapt off. Kakashi and Asuma followed, while others stayed to protect Tazuna. Sasuke trailed behind regardless. They arrived to see Loki sitting on a bound man as another struggled. Uncle Loki, Naruto asked, confused, hopping off Huddy's back. I'm fine, Naruto. Heimdall warned me. These fools plan to attack your group and kill the man you're protecting, Loki said, glancing at Kakashi, who held back Sasuke, preventing him from attacking. It seems this one might need to get his head checked, Loki said, his eyes narrowing as he glanced at Kakashi. He'll be fine, Kakashi replied, waving off the comment casually. Loki's gaze sharpened. I wouldn't be so sure if I were you, he murmured, though he didn't press further. It wasn't worth the trouble. If necessary, they could deal with the brat later. So the demon brothers are here. That means the demon of the mist can't be far, Naruto observed, looking to his uncle. Loki gave a subtle nod. That's correct. Heimdall is currently investigating in the Land of Waves. Something isn't right, Loki explained. You might be overthinking it, Loki-sama, Kakashi said, a faint smirk in his single eye. Asuma glanced between the two. Still, it does feel off, he commented, glancing at the god. You should heed your friend's advice, Kakashi, Loki said, his gaze sharp as it swept over the Jonin who had once been his nephew's student. Kakashi simply nodded in acknowledgement. Sasuke, that's enough. These are Loki-sama's prisoners, he said sharply to his irritable student. Naruto let out a sigh. I thought things were starting to go smoothly, but this mission is already going sideways, he thought as he watched Huddy and Skull. Heimdall suddenly appeared before them all. Trouble has arisen in the Land of Waves, he said, scanning the group. Tazuna's nervousness grew as he noticed the dark-haired figure perched on the bound man. What's happening here? He stammered, unease overtaking him. Loki's cold green eyes met his. I was about to ask you the same thing. Heimdall speaks the truth. You have deceived us regarding the mission you commissioned my nephew for, he said, his tone sharp. Tazuna sank to his knees. Forgive me, please have mercy on this old fool. My hands are tied, as are the hands of my people. Gato has taken control, killed our lord, enslaved our women and children, seized our mines, exports, and jobs. The money I managed to gather, it was all we had, in hopes of hiring a Chunin team, or even just a pair of Jonin to save the village. Not children like these, he sobbed, collapsing to the ground. Uncle, Naruto muttered softly. Loki understood the thought running through her mind. If this were Asgard, Thor would never allow this to go unanswered. He would handle it personally. Loki exhaled softly. I won't stop them from continuing this mission, but I will accompany them. I can't bear to hear my brother wail over his heir's safety, he admitted. What do you mean? I think we should turn back. The client lied about this mission, Kakashi interjected. Loki's eyes narrowed. He may have lied, but it was for the sake of his homeland. If you wish to turn back, fine. But Naruto, Hattie, Skull, and I will continue, he stated, regal and resolute. Kakashi's gaze hardened. No, we continue, but the Hawkage will be informed of the mission's changes, he said, his voice tight with restraint. I'll speak to both the Hawkage and Thor, Heimdall said, sensing Loki's patience thinning. Very well, escort these two back as well, Loki instructed, gesturing toward Heimdall. As you wish, Heimdall replied, placing a reassuring hand on Naruto's head. Stay safe, little one. This mission will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. I will, Naruto said, smiling up at him. He approached the elderly man. Here, drink this, he said, handing over a leather pouch. Tazuna hesitated, then sipped, his eyes widening. What is this? Naruto grinned. It's mead I brewed, helps calm the nerves. It's excellent, thank you, Tazuna said, returning the pouch. Thor knows you brought your mead? Loki asked, amused. Naruto winked. Don't worry, I made more before we left, he said cheekily. Kiba raised an eyebrow. So that's what you were up to? Yup, Naruto replied, grinning at his brother. In Asgard, I have mead with my meals after battles. Here, as a shinobi, one glass will do just fine, Naruto explained, smiling softly. Loki nodded. Hattie stepped forward and Naruto climbed onto his back. Skull moved closer to Ino, letting her ride as well. The team insisted the girls not walk. Why do they get the ride? Sasuke grumbled, annoyed. Because Naruto is family and we like him. Ino is a princess, she deserves comfort. You not so much, Hattie growled, baring teeth. Sasuke huffed, walking on while the wolves rolled their eyes. They reached the shore where a boat awaited Tazuna. About time, a cloaked man said. Sorry, ran into some complications, Tazuna said as he boarded. Skull and Hattie remained on the water with Loki. There wasn't room for them in the boat, and the boatsman's fearful gaze didn't help. My cousins won't hurt you, Naruto said reassuringly. The man nodded, uncertain, but left it at that. Shinobi were unpredictable, after all. From the shadows, a pair of hazel eyes observed, noting the blondes atop massive wolves and the raven-haired man at their side. I need to warn Zabuza-sama, there are more than reported, the figure thought, vanishing into shards of ice. Naruto looked to Loki. Shall we race? He asked, smirking. His cousins chuckled. You mean race him while you ride our backs? Skull teased. Yeah, that's exactly it, Ino replied from her perch. Loki smirked. Agreed, hold on tight, he said, nodding at Ino. The boat party heard a thunderous crack, followed by a splash. When they looked up, Loki, Naruto, and the twin wolves were gone. Where the hell is Naruto? Kakashi asked, blinking. I have no idea, Asuma admitted. Troublesome blondes, racing Loki-sama to the island, Shikamaru sighed. Why didn't you say anything? Kakashi demanded. Too much trouble. Besides, what can you do against a god? Shikamaru replied, bored. My student doesn't have to stop another student or a god, Asuma added, standing behind his pupil. Kakashi fell silent, knowing resistance was futile. Fine, they'll wait for us. I doubt they'll act recklessly without us, Kakashi said, defeated. Land of Waves, the group arrived on shore almost simultaneously. Loki chuckled. You've grown quicker. Huddy and Skull grinned. Well, we have to keep up with Grandpa sometimes, Naruto said proudly. Ino's eyes widened. You're really that strong? Of course, Naruto said, winking. But we were taking it easy because you're riding, and we don't want you passing out. Ino looked around. Should we scout the area before the others arrive? Naruto glanced at Loki, who nodded. Good idea. We've got a window of an hour or two, Naruto said. The small team moved cautiously into the woods. Hidden in the shadows, a man with a massive sword and another with a hunter's mask observed. Time to eliminate them before the reinforcements arrive, the sword-bearer said. Yes, master, the masked figure whispered, vanishing from sight. Naruto leaped off Huddy's back, his voice carrying across the clearing. Hey, look. There's a beautiful lake over here, he shouted, his excitement evident as the others followed the sound of his voice. Ino let out a soft giggle, amused by his enthusiasm. He sounds so girly right now, she thought, smiling. You sound just like our little sister Unne, Huddy and Skull said in unison, chuckling, while Loki merely rolled his eyes. Shut up. I enjoy spending time with Unne, she's sweet, but she could take both of you down in a fight, Naruto snapped, clearly annoyed at the twins' teasing. From her spot atop Skull's back, Ino laughed again. You two sound like siblings, she observed, earning a couple of blank stares. The lively forest noises suddenly faded as an unnatural mist crept around them. Loki's staff appeared in his hand. Naruto, boys, it's time to prepare for battle, he said, his tone serious. Miss Ino, please come with me. Naruto and the boys can handle this on their own. Holding out his hand, Ino jumped off Skull's back and followed him. Naruto grinned, raising his hand in acknowledgement. I probably should have brought Mjolnir with me, he muttered with a chuckle. Back in the village, Thor sat at his desk, sorting through paperwork that Loki had left behind, plans concerning the village and various reports from home. His old hammer, Mjolnir, began to vibrate slightly on its stand. Thor raised an eyebrow. What in the world? He muttered to himself. Before he could investigate, Mjolnir shot out the open window, colliding with a few unfortunate passers-by. Thor couldn't help but chuckle at the familiar sight. Protect her, he whispered into the wind, smiling faintly before returning to his paperwork. Why can't Stormbreaker handle all this? He grumbled. Battle in the Land of Waves. Naruto versus. Zabuza, what are you trying to do, brat? Zabuza demanded, the bandages around his face making his expression hard to read. Naruto smirked. Just calling in my weapon, he replied, leaping into the air as lightning danced across the sky and Mjolnir descended into his hand. Thunder cracked above the clearing. Zabuza drew his massive sword, his two enormous wolves at his sides. A nameless little genin thinks he can challenge me, he said, chuckling. Naruto's grin turned fierce. Don't underestimate me, Zabuza, the bloody phantom of the mist, who wasn't even a genin when he defeated an entire genin class, is not someone to be taken lightly. Zabuza's smile widened. Impressive. You did your homework. I had to. My grandfather and uncle wouldn't want me wandering around blindly, acting foolish like some of the other genin, Naruto replied, glancing toward Loki, who was standing on the sidelines with Ino, smirking at his words. They're wise, but still foolish for sending only you, your cousin, the wolves, and one other man ahead to scout, Zabuza said, shaking his head. No, we trained him well, Loki interjected. He's faced far deadlier opponents than you, sometimes with only his cousins by his side. Naruto will manage just fine. Zabuza's grin never faltered. Don't get too confident. He's never faced anyone like me. Then let's see, Loki said, nodding to the blonde-haired boy. Naruto pulled his hair into a ponytail and smirked. Don't want me to cut your hair, pretty boy? Zabuza teased, swinging his sword at Naruto's head. Reacting quickly, Naruto bent backward, his leg kicking Zabuza in the gut and sending him flying. Not bad, brat, but still too slow, Zabuza shouted, bringing his sword crashing down. Lightning erupted as it struck the ground, but Naruto flipped over in time, swinging Mjolnir down where Zabuza had been. The impact sent lightning crackling in every direction. Naruto pushed off the ground, keeping Mjolnir in hand, but Zabuza struck again, clipping Naruto's shoulder. Naruto was thrown back from the force. I got careless. Too cocky, Naruto thought, glaring at Loki, who frowned at the mistake. Huddy and Skull growled from the sidelines. Bastard, Huddy muttered. You'll pay for hurting our cousin, Skull snapped, snapping at Zabuza as he moved past. Zabuza laughed. Awa, your little pets are upset. Now boy, show me what you've got. He stepped back into a swirling mist. Naruto took a deep breath, closing her eyes. Focus. No mistakes this time. She listened carefully, moving Mjolnir to block an incoming strike. Ghostly chuckles echoed around them. I wish I were in my battle outfit. This is slowing me down, Naruto thought, sensing something strange about Zabuza's sword. That metal, it's not from this world. Maybe Asgard or somewhere else. She blocked another strike and performed a leg sweep, knocking him down, but he transformed into water and laughed. Nice try, boy, Zabuza said. Out at sea, what are those idiots up to? Shikamaru sighed. Maybe cooking, Choji suggested. Kiba chuckled. Knowing Naruto, he's in trouble, no doubt, he said. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Why do you say that, Kiba? Because it's Naruto. Trouble follows him everywhere, Kiba replied, laughing. Back on the battlefield, blood dripped from Naruto's lip as she glared at Zabuza, the mist beginning to lift. Ino gasped, noticing the boy, now a girl, was covered in cuts, her jacket torn, one pant leg missing and her tank top shredded. Loki clenched his fist. Something felt off about Naruto's chakra. Could it be that sword? He wondered, knowing the moment Naruto's true self revealed itself was near. Kit, what's wrong? Kurama asked, concerned. I'm not sure that sword hurt me. The metal, it's alien, Naruto thought. I'll help stabilize your magic, Kurama promised. Thanks, Naruto replied, panting. She pushed herself up. I'm not letting you take me down, Zabuza, she growled. Ino tilted her head, noticing something unusual. Naruto, she looks different, almost feminine. Lightning crackled around her. Mjolnir, Naruto commanded. Her hair whipped around wildly as her outfit transformed into a battle dress. Just then Team 10 and the client arrived, stunned. Naruto's injuries healed instantly. Now, Zabuza, where were we? She asked, glaring at him. Shit, Kiba groaned, slapping his face. Why Naruto? Now Mom's going to kill me, Kakashi looked shocked. You knew Naruto was a girl, Zabuza laughed, staring at her. She now wore a black skirt with high slits, a silver belt with a crimson jewel, a black bralette with silver straps, silver arm bracelets, and black boots. Her hair was in twin pigtails, sparking with lightning from her glowing eyes. Changing your outfit won't save you, little girl, Zabuza said, raising his massive sword. Naruto, get back here. Let me handle this, Kakashi shouted. Naruto's head snapped toward him, eyes blazing with electricity. Stay out of this. This is a battle of honor. Understand, she commanded coldly. Kakashi stepped forward, but Skull moved ahead of him, baring his teeth and growling at the Jonin. You won't interfere. She's fighting for her own honor now, he warned, snapping his gaze at Kakashi. Kakashi raised a hand. Fine, he sighed, eyes still on Naruto. But this isn't over. He glanced at Loki, who just smirked back. You can try all you want, Loki replied smoothly, but you hold no sway over me, and only a little over Naruto as it is. His smirk widened, confident that anyone challenging them would face consequences far worse than they imagined. Naruto grinned at Zabuza. Now that I'm free to fight as I truly am, I won't hold back any more, mummy face, she teased, a sword materializing in her left hand as she displayed both weapons. Ooh, big words for a little girl, Zabuza mocked, lunging with a spinning strike aimed at her neck. But before he could land it, her left-hand sword blocked the blow. She spun, hammer striking his chest with a force that sent him skidding into the lake, blood spraying from his mouth. Zabuza flipped midair, landing in the water. His eyes locked on her, wary. You have skill, but don't think that will save you, he growled, forming hand signs as the mist thickened, filled with lethal intent. Oh, princess, don't pout just because I've shown you up, Naruto teased, deflecting another strike. When Zabuza hurled a kunai at her, Skull leaped, catching it before it could pierce Sasuke's chest. Sasuke's eyes widened, realizing how close he had come to death. Kakashi lifted his forehead protector, activating his Sharingan to see through the mist. Loki shook his head. Put that away. That little trick won't work here, he told Kakashi, calmly observing the scene. Why do you say that? Kakashi asked, glaring. Because Naruto is channeling her own magic and chakra into the mist, overriding Zabuza's jutsu, Loki explained, smirking at everyone's shocked expressions. Someone can do that? Sasuke clenched his fist, furious. No, it's unheard of, Asuma muttered, dropping his cigarette onto the wet ground. She discovered it herself while training in magic with me, Loki continued, pride evident in his tone. She overpowered one of my spells to the point I couldn't control it. Everyone nodded in stunned silence. Zabuza scowled, pushing chakra into the mist to thicken it around her. Yet something strange happened. It moved against him, wrapping around his body like living vines. What the? He growled. Sorry, Zabuza, I took over your jutsu, Naruto said calmly, stepping forward as the mist cleared, transforming into tight vines around the missing nin. Pointing her sword at his neck, she laid out two options. Which two? Zabuza asked, narrowing his eyes. Tell your men in the trees to stand down and let the old man go, and I'll let you leave. Or I end this here and now, and neither of you ever aid rebels against your dead ex-gage again, Naruto said, unwavering. A scroll appeared in her hand. What? Zabuza demanded, struggling against the vines. This scroll contains the information you need. But your fourth is dead. His Biju will take about 4 more years to reform. He was killed a year ago, she explained as a masked shinobi bowed, taking the scroll and retreating. How do you know about the Four Tails? Zabuza asked, suspicion etched on his face. 9 feels the suffering and joy of its host. 4 has been in pain for years, Naruto said, her eyes icy and unyielding. A seal on her stomach appeared briefly, visible only to those close. I won't kill the old man, it's not worth it. You weren't serious last time, now I understand your skill. Perhaps one day I could call upon you, Zabuza admitted, letting out a sigh. Naruto smiled. You might just do that, she said, and the vines released him. Copycat, you don't know what you've got here. Treat her right or I'll cleave your head off, Zabuza warned, disappearing with the shinobi into water and snow. Naruto exhaled. Well, that was fun, she said, turning to the others. Her seal had faded, keeping her secret safe except for one genius in their group. Ino ran up, inspecting her outfit. Oh my kami, Naruto, she exclaimed, spinning around her friend. Naruto chuckled nervously. Damn it, Naruto, Mom is going to kill me. Kiba yelled from Akamaru's back, tears streaming. I didn't plan to reveal this yet, Naruto said, arms crossed. Zabuza's sword interfered with my chakra and magic, it just slipped. So what's the big deal? Shikamaru already knew I was a girl. Now my team and sensei do too, she trailed off, glancing at the old man, pale with shock. But why hide it in the first place? Ino asked. I wasn't well liked. Pretending to be a boy kept me safer. Some in our village wouldn't hesitate to hurt a little girl or a little boy, Naruto admitted, her sigh heavy. Choji's eyes welled up. Ino turned pale, realizing the depth of her hardships. Enough about that. We have a mission, to stop a bastard who thinks he's a god. He needs to learn he's an ant beneath my boot, Naruto said, smiling, unrolling a black hoodie to cover herself. Loki placed a hand on her shoulder. I don't know why you fought as a Valkyrie, but had he fallen, you'd have guided him to Valhalla yourself, he said. Will this happen again? Naruto asked. Perhaps. Valkyries rarely intervene here. But you possess the power of Freya and the Valkyrie. You'll lead warriors, Loki said, unease in his voice. I expected my missions to be interesting, she chuckled. The others watched as Huddy and Skull kept them at a distance, knowing it wasn't their place. I'm not fully a goddess yet, Naruto said, looking at her hand. You're growing into it quickly. A young goddess learning her strength, Loki said, hugging her and kissing her forehead. Naruto nodded. Time to focus on the mission, she said. Let's go, Loki replied, turning to the others. Come on, we've got daylight to burn, Naruto called, as Skull and Huddy prepared to carry her and Ino. Ino glanced at Naruto's outfit. That's incredible, I've never seen anything like it, she said, admiration in her voice. Naruto glanced at her fellow blonde, a soft smile gracing her face. Thanks. This is just one of the many outfits I'll wear into battle, she said to Ino. Ino's eyes widened in both shock and curiosity. Just one of how many? She asked, her voice filled with excitement. Naruto chuckled lightly, her gaze meeting Ino's. Well, what you just saw is my Valkyrie battle outfit. Then there's a goddess one, though I haven't seen it myself yet. You also saw my male outfit, and there's a female version of that too. I'm really curious to see what my goddess gear will look like. Grandma Freya's battle outfit was amazing. Black leather, swords, chainmail, all that. But grandfather told me every goddess's armor is unique, so I'm excited to find out what mine will be. Her eyes sparkled at the thought of her future outfit. That's adorable. I can't wait to see it either. But I thought you already had your goddess outfit, Ino said, looking confused. It should unlock soon, Huddy said, a grin spreading across his muzzle. My Valkyrie form has grown a lot stronger since leaving Asgard, Skull added with a dark chuckle. Ino looked between the two brothers, and back at Naruto. Wow, you've gotten stronger with that form, she asked, still in shock. Naruto nodded slowly. Yeah, she chuckled nervously, rubbing the back of her head. Before returning here, I used my Valkyrie form in several battles, taking fallen warriors to Valhalla so they could become fighters when the time came. Ino blinked. So, when you fought Zabuza earlier, you would have taken him to Valhalla too? Naruto nodded. Yeah, a black Pegasus would appear, he'd jump on its back, and I'd guide him to Valhalla's gates. Then I'd return a few hours later to continue the mission, she explained. That's insane. I want to see your Pegasus someday, Ino said, eyes sparkling. Naruto giggled. At Zabuza's hideout, Zabuza collapsed onto his throne, the old wood creaking under his weight. Haku stepped up beside him, handing over a scroll. Here's the scroll the girl gave you, he said, frowning, unsure if he could trust the mysterious girl. Don't worry, Haku. If she wanted me dead, it would have been done already, Zabuza replied, taking the scroll. As he unrolled it, a hologram appeared. A man with long black hair and crimson Uchiha eyes turning the water country's cage into a puppet, twisting a kind young man into something heartless. Zabuza slammed the scroll down, fists clenched. How did she get this? He growled, pushing himself off the throne and grabbing his sword. We're meeting her now, Haku. Yes, master, Haku said, adjusting his mask and following. Tazuna's house. Naruto grinned at Huddy and Skull. Ready to set up camp, boys? In a flash of blue light, two handsome young men appeared, each holding a scroll. Yeah, we're ready, Skull said with a smirk. Huddy added, we also brought meat from our hunt before leaving Asgard. Tonight we feast. Tazuna hesitated, looking at the trio. You could stay in my large house, it used to be a hotel, he suggested. Naruto shook her head, grinning. Thanks, but as Asgardian warriors, we're trained to camp under the stars during war or battle. It builds strength and fortitude, she said. Loki smirked, watching his grandsons and niece. Well said, my dear, he said, placing a hand on Naruto's head. Her hair relaxed, her battle skirt and leggings appearing beneath her leggings. Huddy and Skull shifted into massive werewolves, swords in paw, standing before Naruto and Loki. What do you want, bloody phantom? Skull growled at the newcomer. I came about this scroll, Zabuza said, eyes narrowing at the werewolves and at Haku, who now held ice kunai in both hands. Those won't hurt us, Huddy chuckled, frost curling from his mouth as ice formed around their feet. Haku froze, shock evident in his eyes. He had never seen another ice user. Enough, both of you, Naruto commanded, stepping past Huddy and Skull. What do you want, Zabuza? Her arms crossed, a calm, flat smile on her face. His eyes cold, he asked, how did you get this video to play in the scroll? Oh, the hologram, Naruto said, smiling. I have spy cams all over the N for my safety. Plus, an uncle with an all-seeing eye watches everything. As for the scroll, it's old tech saved by a friend of my grandfather. I experimented, combined the two, and voila, a hologram scroll prototype. She folded her arms behind her head, proud of her work. Zabuza blinked. You're dangerous, you know. I know, Naruto said softly. I have dirt on many people. I could take down lords across lands, but I stay in the shadows. The others watched quietly, unsure what was being discussed. All right, kid. I believe you. If you ever need help, just send chakra into this ice mirror, Zabuza said, handing it to her. We'll come. Naruto smiled, nodding, sealing the mirror away. I will. They vanished into the mist. Naruto turned to the group. Mission simplified. Kill Gato and his thugs, she said. Later, on night watch at the dock, Naruto held a small dagger, gazing at the moon. Huddy and Skull patrolled, alert. Light footsteps approached, and she fell back, crystal blue eyes sparking. Ino stood there, smiling softly. Hey, I couldn't sleep. Thought I might help, Ino said, joining her. Sitting up, Naruto nodded. Sure, why not? My cousins are keeping watch in the forest. Ino tilted her head. I'm glad they're with us. Honestly, I wasn't sure I could be a shinobi. I'm too girly. But as the only child of our main clan, I have to do this. She sighed, looking at her painted nails. I know that feeling. I'm also the only known granddaughter of Thor and my parents' only daughter. Everyone expects me to be a strong leader, Naruto said, glancing at the moon. A life we didn't choose, but it chose us. Yeah, Ino smiled. But we can prove we're more than our family's legacies. Exactly. Let's train together. I want you to protect yourself. Your family jutsu takes a lot from you. I can teach styles even Might Guy doesn't know, Naruto said, grinning. We can even find a weapon that suits you. Sounds perfect. I haven't found a fighting style I like. Maybe we can even include Choji and Shika, Ino said, glancing at the house, spotting her teammates on the steps. Looks like they noticed you left, Naruto said, watching. Let's brainstorm about Gato. Both boys joined them at the dock. Troublesome, what are you two planning now? Shikamaru asked. Choji sipped his water, chip aside. We're planning to get stronger, Ino said with a smirk. This will be fun, Choji said gently. From the shadows, Loki watched as the senseis observed the genin interacting. Naru's getting close to my team, Asuma murmured, exhaling smoke. It seems that way, Kakashi said with a soft sigh, tucking his little orange book into his vest pocket. I just wish Kiba and she could get along better with Sasuke. Asuma raised an eyebrow at his friend. It's not them. You know that, Kakashi. The problem is Sasuke. That boy needs to let go of his god complex. His attitude and behavior aren't doing him, or his teammates, any favors. Kakashi rubbed the bridge of his nose, letting out another sigh. I know, but with how things are right now, there's only so much I can do for Naruto or Kiba. The elders have me tied up completely. He glanced toward the sky as if seeking answers there. Loki arched a brow, thinking to himself, I'll need to look into this. What leverage do those three fools have on him? He gazed upward, already knowing who he would need to speak to. Morning Huddy and Skull walked up to the house carrying 3 freshly skinned and butchered deer for the head of the household. Tsunami smiled warmly as they entered the kitchen through the back door. Hello, boys. Is there something you need? No, Miss Tsunami. We just thought you might like some fresh deer meat. We were out hunting last night while on watch, Huddy said, smiling. Skull added, Don't worry about us. We caught our own deer and our cousin is already cooking it. He gestured to the meat neatly cut and packaged. Oh, thank you, boys. This really helps. Tsunami took the packages, setting aside 2 for breakfast and storing the rest for later. Outside, Naruto was stirring a pot of stew with the wild vegetables the boys had brought, adding rice to go with it. She sealed the remaining deer meat and looked up as footsteps approached. Kiba and Akamaru arrived, followed by Team 10. Hey, sis, mind if we join you? Kiba asked, watching the blonde girl tending to the stew. Of course, Naruto replied, smiling as she unsealed more bowls and chopsticks. Tsunami glanced outside at the group enjoying the meal with Naruto, her cousins, and her uncle. She then looked back at the dining room table, where the 2 senseis and the raven-haired boy sat. I overheard your plans last night, Loki said, fixing his gaze on Naruto. She blushed slightly. Yeah, I want to help my friends get stronger, and I need to be stronger too. I feel something bad is coming, though I don't know when. She looked down at her bowl. Don't worry, my dear, I understand. Thor and I were powerless when Helena attacked, so I'm glad you're already thinking ahead, Loki said with a reassuring smile. Naruto's smile brightened. Thanks, Uncle. I just needed some reassurance, given everything that's already happened on this mission. Team 10 will go with the bridge builder in the morning, while Team 7 stays back to watch over the house and train. Then we'll head to the bridge at lunchtime to take over. That's what I heard from Kakashi and Asuma-sensei. But I want to handle this mission ourselves. Gato won't wait for us. He's going to recruit more men and likely double-cross Zabuza. With Zabuza gone, how long before he figures it out? Naruto's tone was determined. Shikamaru rubbed his temple. You're right. He'll probably hire a new missing nin and bring over thugs from the mainland within a week. Naruto's eyes glinted. I want to go after Gato within 24 hours. If not, I'll do it tonight during my watch. I can leave shadow clones behind, and Huddy and Skull can create their own clones with magic. Uncle Loki can cover for us. I'll cover for you, but send a team of clones to scout Gato's place first. We need to know the layout and have a solid plan before we strike, Loki advised. Everyone nodded. He's right, Naru. We can't go in blind, Ino said. Kiba stroked Akamaru's fur. Agreed. We can't risk being caught off guard or having our senseis find out what we're doing. All right. I'll send clones once I'm out of Kakashi's sight, Naruto said, grinning. An army of clones appeared around her. She turned to them, nodded, and watched them vanish into the forest. Turning back, she faced the group. What? She asked with a playful grin. Loki shook his head. Huddy and Skull made their own clones to follow hers. Couldn't you warn us first? Skull asked, half joking. Nope, Naruto replied, emphasizing the P with her grin. Skull pulled her into a big werewolf hug. Play nice, little cousin. Fender isn't here to protect you from all those little trolls in your world. I know, but imagine him unleashed. A massive wolf with lava dripping from his mouth, flaming eyes, a sword through his jaw, and chains everywhere. He'd have fun here, Naruto said with dark humor, making everyone freeze in shock. What the hell? Kiba muttered, stunned. Huh, Naruto tilted her head, genuinely confused. Where did that even come from? Kiba asked, still processing. Shikamaru exhaled. She's planning ahead. Something bad is coming and her gut's telling her. He rubbed his eyes. Naruto nodded softly. My spy network picked up troubling news, things Jirya doesn't even know. She took a deep breath, centering herself, then looked at everyone with a small, controlled smile. There's a group hunting people with hidden powers. My network says they're led by the same man behind the blood wars in Kiri. He's using a puppet as the figurehead, she revealed, sighing as a tear rolled down her cheek, knowing Sasuke was hiding nearby. Ino squeezed her hand. Tell us. It's better we know now than later. Leaning on her cousins, Naruto exhaled. This is hard, but we need to know what we're facing. Something else is happening in the shadows, something my own family might be involved in. Kurama growled softly from his cage. If it comes to that, I'll step in. No one will hurt you. Thanks, Rama, she thought, smiling. She looked at everyone and nodded. The man behind all this, the same man behind the cage's death in Kiri, who caused the bloody civil war, fueled Gato's fears about the Uchiha, and manipulated our village as weapons, has gathered followers. He plans to take or kill the hosts of the Biju, she explained. Do you know what they want with the Biju? Asuma asked, stepping from the shadows to face the blonde surrounded by two massive werewolves. I glance up, spotting Sasuke standing near Kakashi, his gaze sharp and full of venom aimed straight at me. He wants control, to make us all into some kind of living statues, or I don't even know how to explain it, I mutter, eyes fixed on my clasped hands. What nonsense are you spouting about my family? Sasuke hisses, venom dripping from every word. My head snaps up, fury flaring. I stride toward him, my steps deliberate, and slam my palm across his cheek. Teeth rattle as the impact lands. You arrogant fool, and get that stick out of your ass, I growl, my anger boiling. His eyes widen, a flicker of fear crossing the usual black voids. Your family, your father especially, has always had their heads shoved too high. They think they're untouchable, superior. The Uchiha never really integrated with the village. They hoarded power for themselves. And now, one of your own is trying to bend the world to his will, claiming godhood. Your clan is full of arrogance and hollow strength. Those sharing in powers. They're just copies, nothing original, I snap. Even Kakashi's eyes widen in shock at my words. And you were ready to kill your own brother. Did you know your father planned to have him murder you that night? How do I know? I grin, a little crazed now. Your father kidnapped me. I was in your house that night. I saw him slit your mother's throat, saw his eyes transform into your clan's final form, a twisted ritual requiring the murder of someone close. Every case is different, I explain, jabbing a finger into Sasuke's chest. He steps back, uneasy, sensing the storm standing before him. My gaze shifts to Kakashi. And the one who finished off the clan. Obito Uchiha, pretending to be Madara, while the real Madara rots in history. How do I know? My uncle's all-seeing eye caught him unmasked. Root aided him too, should have been disbanded after the Third Shinobi War, but no. They took promising children from orphanages, killing the rest. I know. My voice trembles with rage, releasing years of pent-up fury, and then I collapse from the emotional overload. Kakashi stands frozen, processing the revelation. His old teammate alive, the real reason behind their sensei's death, and the tragedy that struck Naruto's family. His hand instinctively grabs Sasuke's collar, stopping him from lunging. Sasuke, calm down. Naruto isn't the enemy here. She suffered far more than you. You grew up as a prince. She was treated like dirt, Kakashi says, his voice a chilling mix of authority and warning. Naruto's cousins growl low, ready to strike. Try anything and you'll regret it. Your council and elders won't save you, Huddy snarls, with Skull licking his chops, ready to tear into the young Uchiha. A shiver runs down Sasuke and Kakashi. Both know these two won't hesitate. Kakashi smirks faintly. All right, Sasuke, time to come back inside. We have matters to discuss. For once, the boy obeys, leaving with a huff, uneasy even with his sensei nearby. Forest surrounding the land of waves. Naruto's shadow clones spread out, sweeping bandit camps, brothels, and hideouts, only intervening when necessary, rescuing prisoners and slaves from the scum. Sweetie, we're taking you somewhere safe, one clone says to a small, white-haired girl. Thank you, she sobs. Take her to the boss, another clone instructs. The girl is passed from one clone to another, vanishing in a flash of lightning. All clear, everyone's free. No need to worry about these scum, the lead clone confirms, the others nodding before dispersing. The remnants of the burned camp lie smoldering, deers cautiously emerging from the woods to investigate. 30 shadow clones circle Gato's compound, scouting weaknesses and counting guards. About 15 outside, 20 on the walls, 20 inside, but they might be drunk. A clone observes through binoculars. We can replace each thug quietly. The boss shouldn't notice, the lead clone says, explaining the plan to her partner. We can't afford mistakes. One fainting clone could ruin it all. Maybe the boss was drawn into her mind, talking to Kurama-sama, the other clone suggests. Perhaps, we'll see soon enough, the leader says with a smirk, signaling to follow her to a nearby clearing to finalize the strategy. Gato's office. Gato sifts through files, plotting over the girl's future. A perfect addition to my collection, he murmurs, lust in his voice. He glances at her photo, imagining her as a bride for himself or his son, chuckling darkly. A knock interrupts him. Come in, he grumbles, wiping his mouth. 2 men enter. What do you want? Gato snarls. Oh, our dear friend Gato, the raven-haired man hisses. We're just paying a visit. Bullshit, Gato sneers. You never visit without wanting something. Sitting, the man smirks. We heard you had promising test subjects. Yes, ship's ready. Just tell the captain where to deliver, Gato waves dismissively. The man's golden eyes land on the girl's photo. Who's this? Gato snatches it, sliding it into his jacket. No one, forget it. I know she's the princess of the hidden leaf, be careful. Her handlers won't be forgiving, the man warns, leaving with his companion. In the clearing, if everyone knows the plan, the lead clone asks. Yeah, the others shout. Less noise next time, she scolds. They look sheepish but ready. With Naruto and the others, Naru blinks awake, feeling a fuzzy tail swat her side. Hey, Akamaru, she murmurs, running her fingers through his fur. A cheerful yip echoed from the puppy, immediately drawing everyone's attention to her as she stirred awake. Naru, are you all right? Skull asked, leaning close, while Huddy came up with a bottle of water in hand, offering it to her. Why, yeah, I'm fine, Naru replied, smiling softly as she sat up and took a sip. What made you pass out? Ino asked, curiosity clear in her eyes. With a sheepish giggle, Naru shrugged. I overloaded with information from a few dozen spies at once. I needed a moment to sort through all the memories and make sense of what I discovered. Some details are still fuzzy, but I'll explain everything once I fully process it. Sounds good, Ino said, settling next to her. Later, Naruto sat on the dock during her night duty as Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji approached. Hey Naru, Ino called, spotting her at the edge of the dock, a shadow clone hovering over the lake before her, a spinning ball of lightning held in its hand. Troublesome blondes, what's the plan, Naruto? Shikamaru asked, his dark eyes fixed on her sparkling crystal blue gaze. Smiling faintly, Naru replied, honestly, I don't want to drag anyone into this. It's going to be messy and bloody. Shikamaru let out a long, weary sigh. Listen, Naruto, you've got Huddy and Skull, sure, but you need your friends, that's what teamwork is about. He sat beside her, eyes serious. I know. I've been in fights alone where I barely survived, Naruto admitted, smiling sadly at him. Ino leaned in, giving her a sideways hug. Don't worry, we know you've had a rough life, well, until you met your grandpa and uncle. And just so you know, we might be clan heirs, but our dads made sure we're stronger than your average genin, she added, giggling. Thanks, Ino, I needed that, Naruto said, looking each of them in the eye. We're going to have to deal with 100 thugs roaming Gato's little palace. Shikamaru let out another tired sigh. Troublesome girl, but we're with you. I don't want anyone else hurt. Kiba, for one, Naruto frowned. We understand, Choji said between bites of chips, smiling at her. Oh, Choji, my sweet Choji, she said with a soft smile. Never change. Choji grinned and gave a thumbs up. I need you three to huddle close. We can't be overheard, Naruto said, and they leaned in to whisper. Gato's little hideout palace. Gato counted money at his desk, the safe in the wall open. 5032, 5033, he grinned to himself. Outside the walls, Naruto, Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Huddy, and Skull crouched in the treetops, observing the guards patrolling the stone walls and courtyard. This is harder than I expected, Naru muttered, biting her thumbnail as she cursed the sudden increase in guards. He must be scared Zabuza might betray him, Ino suggested. Seems that way, Shikamaru added. Then we wait for nightfall, Huddy said with a grin. And we've set up some poison crates of booze inside, Skull added. The thugs won't suspect a thing, Naru nodded. Perfect. By the time they notice, it'll be too late. Their nightly bonfires are already being set up. As the sun set, Naru's shadow clones had already moved one of the crates, returning it to the palace walls. Hey, bossman, more booze, a thug yelled. Yay, the others cheered, unaware that some of the celebration was orchestrated by the shadow clones. One clone slipped inside, moving stealthily toward the boss. Boss, whispered the thug. We're far enough to speak freely, Naru said softly, smiling at her clone. Orochimaru was here with another man, the clone reported. How long ago? Shikamaru asked, unease creeping in. About 30 minutes, the clone answered. Naru frowned. What's he planning? She muttered to herself. Elsewhere, Orochimaru addressed his bodyguard. Keep an eye on that little troll. If he goes after Naruto Uzumaki. As you wish, Lord Orochimaru, Kimimaro said, kneeling. Go, Kimimaro, Orochimaru ordered, his long tongue flicking out as he chuckled. Gato's fortress thugs fell one by one as shadow clones silently eliminated them. Naru, Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, and Kiba with Akamaru approached the fortress gates, where two clones stood watch. Boss, you can move freely, no one's protecting him. Other clones are looting and freeing the slaves inside, one clone reported. Good work, Naru said, grinning. Huddy and Skull smirked. We'll help with cleanup, they said. We'll watch her back, Shikamaru added. Good. If anything happens, it's on you, Huddy warned, familiar with the boys' loyalty to their cousin. As the teens charged, Skull summoned their father playfully to chase the fleeing thugs, preventing them from escaping. Kicking open the doors, they entered to find shadow clones moving people in scrolls. Outside, a massive werewolf growled, lava dripping from its mouth. Naru glanced around before stepping up the stairs. A thug tried to warn his boss, but Shikamaru's kunai silenced him, pinning him to the wall. Troublesome, Kiba muttered. That's enough. Time to focus, Naru said, determination in her eyes. Ino nodded beside her, arms crossed, while Choji quietly stored his chips for now. Together, the team moved up the stairs. Bodies of dead thugs lined the hallway. Clear, Naru said. My clones handled the rest. They approached the double doors leading to Gato's office. Gato's office? I can't believe such beauty is here, I need her, Gato muttered lecherously. Before he could continue, the doors exploded open with lightning. Naru stood before him, hair flowing, eyes sharp. Disgusting, she snapped. What did you say? Gato barked. You may be pretty little girl, but respect your elders. I don't think so, Naru growled. Respect is earned, not demanded. Shocked, Gato realized his plan to make her his doll would fail. Her will was stronger than his. But he wasn't about to give up. Guards, he roared. Naru smirked. Sorry, no one's coming, she said, pointing behind him to the massive demon looming outside the window. Slowly, Gato spun around, only to see molten lava oozing from the massive wolf, his own thugs being swallowed by the fiery tide. Before Gato could even think to plead for mercy, lightning streaked across the night sky, casting the fortress in hues of soft orange and deep crimson from the raging fires. The mission's complete, Naruto announced, exhaling deeply. She dropped into Gato's chair as the others filed into the office. A sigh escaped her lips as her gaze landed on her cousin. Kiba, who said you could tag along? Her voice sharpened, a flicker of anger breaking through her calm. Kiba looked at her sheepishly. Sorry, Naruto, Akamaru and I overheard your plan last night. I couldn't let you go without me. His guilty smile faded, replaced by one of sincerity. Naruto let out a tired sigh. You got lucky this time. Next time it could cost you, or Akamaru, if things don't go as planned. Her blue eyes flickered with electric intensity. Kiba swallowed hard. I understand, I won't ever go against you again. His voice trembled slightly, and Akamaru barked in agreement. Good. Naruto flashed a dazzling grin. But remember, if you try this again, Auntie Tsume won't be there to save you. She added the warning with a deceptively sweet smile. Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji entered, spotting Naruto's shadow clones busy clearing the safe while she worked at the computer. They collapsed onto the couch across from Kiba, exhaustion written on their faces. Troublesome, Shikamaru muttered. Definitely troublesome, and we'll be in even more trouble once we get back to Tazuna's house, Naruto replied, fingers flying over the keyboard as she changed bank account numbers, transferred funds, and tracked incoming shipments. Ino, don't remind me, she groaned, leaning back. It could be worse, Choji offered, a soft smile easing the tension. The group turned toward him. What, did I say something wrong? He asked innocently, his pure-hearted expression clashing with their grim reality. No, it's just, there's a ship full of thugs arriving Friday. Gato's hired more bodies, seems like he planned to betray Zabuza. And several slave ships are coming tomorrow afternoon, Naruto said, pausing her typing. Her frown deepened. We'll need someone to intercept Gato and his guards, maybe Naruto or our senseis, Shikamaru suggested, trailing off. I'll discuss it when we get back, Naruto said, masking the worry with a small smile. So all done, brats? Huddy asked, Skull standing outside to see off their father. Yes, the little bastard was easy, and it helped that he left all his passwords right on his desk, Naruto said, smirking. Then let's head back and face the wrath of our senseis, she added, gathering printed papers as her shadow clones carried the bounty. Tazuna's house. Kakashi frowned, missing 2 students and a puppy. Asuma noticed his entire team absent, and both observed that Naruto's cousins were nowhere in sight. They've gone against orders, Kakashi muttered, closing his orange book. Likely. I noticed Naruto speaking quietly to my students last night, Asuma added. Troublesome, Shikamaru muttered from the doorway. The cat's out of the bag, Ino said with a sheepish grin. We're screwed, Kiba muttered. We'll be fine, Naruto waved them off. No, you 6 won't, Kakashi growled, dropping toward them as the shadow clones placed bags and scrolls on the floor. Little dramatic, don't you think? Huddy smirked at Skull. You don't decide our actions. Only what these 5 did, Skull replied, mirroring his brother's grin. Fine, but I'll talk to Loki, Kakashi said, knowing the twins were untouchable. What were you doing exactly? Kakashi demanded, narrowing his coal-colored eye. Dealing with the main problem, Naruto replied coldly, stepping toward him. That wasn't your call, Genin Uzumaki, Kakashi shot back. No, but I didn't act as a Genin of Konoha. I acted as a warrior of Asgard, alongside Huddy, Skull, their father, and me. They only observed and helped clean things up, she said firmly. You are not a warrior of Asgard. You are a genin of Konoha, Kakashi countered, matching her intensity. Well, I did what needed to be done. What will you do to me? We were on a mission that should have ended when those brothers attacked us, but we pressed on. So Kakashi-sensei, your authority doesn't extend to my actions, Naruto shot back, forcing him a step back. You'll be on D ranks for a month. No leaving the village, he barked. That's fine. Chunin exams are coming. I might become Chunin and leave this team, she snapped, losing her patience. Kakashi clenched his jaw, knowing she already anticipated their next trial. Asuma stepped forward. What did you learn at Gato's? He asked, aware of the valuable intelligence. Ships with slaves, thugs, and drugs are coming. We need to intercept them, Shikamaru explained, hoping to ease tension between the two. Asuma nodded, placing a hand on Kakashi's shoulder. The fight isn't worth it, he said, understanding Kakashi's urge to scold. Before Kakashi could speak again, the door opened. A shadow clone entered, carrying a snow-white-haired girl. Boss, the clone called. Naruto snapped her attention to the clone, rushing over and taking the girl as the clone vanished in smoke. Are you okay? Naruto asked, wrapping her in a blanket that appeared from nowhere. I lost my mommy, the girl sobbed, clinging to her. A man took her and she never came back. Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. We'll try to find her, Naruto whispered, holding her close. She glanced at Ino, who stepped forward. SHH, come with me. Let's get you to my room, Ino soothed, Tsume following with a medical bag. Now, where were we? Naruto asked, glaring at Kakashi. Kakashi stood firm as Loki appeared. You're not a warrior of Asgard in the village, he said, annoyance clear. I am both a warrior of Asgard and a Konoha shinobi. Push me, Kakashi, and I'll leave this village. Councils, elders, Hokage be damned, Naruto said, meeting Loki's gaze. You'll be marked as a missing ninja, Kakashi warned. Not if I act fast. Your favoritism towards Sasuke shows, leaving Kiba and me to fend for ourselves while preaching teamwork. All you do is read that damn book, Naruto snapped, eyes narrowing. You wouldn't, Kakashi asked. I would, Naruto said, her patience at its limit. Kakashi, enough. You're pushing your student away just to feed your ego, Asuma said, his tone sharp with irritation. Grow up, Kakashi. He lightly slapped him across the shoulder for emphasis. Kakashi's eye widened behind his mask. What the hell, Asuma? He demanded. She's right, Asuma continued, his voice firm. Your ego is clouding your judgment, and your favoritism towards Sasuke isn't helping either. Naruto, clearly exhausted with the tension, finally spoke up. There are bigger things to worry about than squabbling among ourselves. Gato has a shipment coming this Friday, full of thugs, and in a day or two, 2 more ships carrying slaves. We need someone to impersonate Gato and his guards to intercept them and set the captives free. The weight of her words silenced Kakashi. Asuma looked at Naruto, impressed despite himself. So what you're saying is true, we're facing a real threat and innocent people are in danger. Exactly, Naruto confirmed. So, planning first, fighting later, she added with a tired sigh, her thoughts already turning to the scrolls she had discovered. She wasn't ready to share them with Kakashi, or anyone, just yet. Once the room grew quiet, Naruto summoned her shadow clones to gather all the scrolls. She carefully sealed them into a single, compact scroll, keeping her findings private for the time being. Naruto, Kakashi asked, curiosity creeping into his tone. Yeah, she replied, stopping to attach the small scroll to her wrist. What are all those scrolls for? Kakashi pressed. Just some research. I'll review them later. A lot of the names inside are connected to my family, she explained, sensing Kakashi's growing interest. He nodded, then leaned in. Tell me more about this plan. What exactly do you need Asuma and me to do while pretending to be Gato? Naruto looked up from her wrist, her expression serious. 2 slave ships will arrive in a couple of days. We have to intercept the captives and free them. Once they're safe, they can return to their homes, and maybe this will bring some goodwill and opportunities to the village. She spoke as if recounting past missions from Asgard, where she had done similar operations. There was a pause before she added, There's something unsettling I need to warn you both about. What is it? Asuma asked, leaning back on the couch. One of my shadow clones spotted Orochimaru on the island. He met with Gato, and from what I gathered, Gato sold him a ship full of slaves at a steep discount. I think Orochimaru's presence terrified him. Both men paled. This is bad, Asuma muttered, nearly dropping his cigarette. I don't think he's still here, Naruto said, frowning. But we have to be cautious while moving through the village and the island. Both men nodded. The boys, Choji and Sasuke, watched silently. Choji kept a hand over Sasuke's mouth to prevent him from making a noise, knowing calm was needed for now. Tazuna spoke up, hope in his voice. If Gato is gone, we need someone to take his place and lead the land properly. Naruto smiled warmly. Yes, that will mean traveling back to the land of fire and contacting the proper authorities and relatives. Can I come with you? Once you leave to gather a team, maybe I can travel to the capital with you, Tazuna asked. Naruto shrugged. That's up to them, she said, gesturing to Kakashi and Asuma. I have no objection, Asuma said, while Kakashi simply nodded, returning to his book. I'll cover Tazuna's travel expenses, both to the village and back to the land of Wave, Naruto added with a smile. It's the least I can do. She then stood, spreading a map on the table. We need to see where the ships are landing. We need someone to impersonate Gato and two to play his guards, she explained. Asuma and I as bodyguards and you as Gato, he asked cautiously. Maybe. I could do this alone, but I need a team, Naruto said, glaring at Kakashi, who ignored her and went back to his book. It's probably for the best, Asuma said with a tired smile. We just need to know what the guards look like. Naruto summoned two shadow clones and had them mimic the thugs' appearances. This is what they look like, she said. That should work, Asuma said, glancing at Kakashi, who finally nodded. Fine, we'll help, Kakashi muttered, returning to his book. Naruto rolled her eyes. Come on, Kiba, we need to train. Sasuke can practice with Kakashi. Kiba followed her out without complaint. The day of the mission arrived. Naruto seamlessly transformed into Gato, while Asuma and Kakashi disguised themselves as the two thugs. We're ready, Asuma said. Naruto checked herself in the mirror. Let's move. Time's short, she said, a sly smirk on her face. I hope this goes smoothly, she thought. At the docks, Gato, Naruto in disguise, stood as a large ship approached. Remember, our goal is to free the slaves and eliminate the drugs, she reminded her bodyguards, projecting the cold demeanor of the cruel Gato. A man stepped down the gangplank. Gato, sir, he said with a slimy grin. The special cages are ready for inspection. Show me my prizes, Gato chuckled sleazily, striding toward the cargo hold. Yes, sir, the man said, leading the way. There are some beautiful ones aboard, perfect for your collection. Naruto felt a shiver at the words but maintained her composure. Her bodyguards flanked her. We'll have a fun night, boss, Asuma said in character. Gato narrowed his eyes. Quiet, speak out of line and you'll regret it. Sorry, boss, Asuma muttered, while Kakashi remained silent. Inside the cargo hold, Gato inspected the captives. Excellent work. They'll fetch a high price, the man said with a sickening grin. Naruto's fists clenched inside her disguise. Good thing they're dead now, she thought, glancing at Kakashi, who was subtly observing. Unload the cargo so I can see them properly, Gato ordered. The man nodded, directing his men. Gato and his thugs moved to the dock, giving Naruto the chance to set shadow clones around the ship with explosive tags, ready to ignite. We need to act quickly and quietly, Gato instructed gravely. Yes, boss, the thugs replied. Moments later, all the men fell, taken out by Asuma and Kakashi as they revealed their true identities. Gato, sir. What's the meaning of this? The man cried, collapsing bloody to the dock. Gato smirked. Business, nothing personal. She kicked him aside. Naruto shed her disguise, revealing herself as a tall, blonde girl. She turned to the freed captives. You're all free, Gato is finished, she announced. The women and children froze, stunned, unsure how to react to their savior.